probably a stronger constitutional claim to saying you can't change after the election.
You got to get a constitutional law guy.
Yeah, I'll probably get Rob Nadelson, who's good on this.
Can you imagine the recount?
He thinks it's unconstitutional.
If it was close, what the recount would be?
Yeah, countrywide recount.
You have to recount every state if it was close.
That's true.
It'd just be
but
a
the
mess.
thing is, you know, these large states have such large populations that dwarf our population. Sure, right? So unless you think that the margin of victory of a candidate in Colorado is going to be enough to actually change the outcome for the whole nation on the popular vote, right? Like it'll be so close that the 100,000 margin difference in Colorado will decide. Unless you think that, there's no point in even having an election in Colorado.
Right, absolutely.
I wonder if I have
Yeah, why spend the money?
right here, right?
Yeah.
No, you're exactly
It's
right.
even more true for the smaller states.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of having a presidential election in New Mexico?
Yep.
There's no point.
Wyoming.
Oh, check it out. Have a seat.
Grant, do I have one coming up?
Your cell phone, please. Are you out of here?
Oh, who's on here today?
See you in a little bit later.
Yeah, out of here.
Good. We're up.
How many do I have at 10:15? All right, did he give you a bunch of recorded?
That's good.
I'm just going to put this in. How are you, sir?
Good. You sound a little quirky this morning. Courteous Brant.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
How you doing? Where do you want me to sit here?
Right there, be good. I'm going to get you some.
We're so weak on headphones here.
I should have brought them.
We got,
Well, we got.
the ones that got stayed in here, they get all beat up. And that's,
What's up, Brett?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
Good, man.
Good.
Hey, Steph.
Hey, how are you?
You today, Mark?
Yeah.
So Tom was talking about what he wanted to do. I queued up all the guys.
I wanted you at Mark's PC, if that's okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Guys, hold on. I got to get these out.
oh, you're missing headphones there.
I had to take those, so find him some. Those are mine. Damn it.
These don't work.
Okay, now I get to here. Share it with me. Okay, K and H, well, how will we fix it? K and H. You got to add plumb line somewhere. I have to do that live. I got a text this morning. Where was it? If it's not on the log, that's a different story, but Tom texted me exactly what they wanted.
You're going to see a physician specialist. They're going to try to see if you're a candidate for a procedure in care.
Okay. Raleigh.
We have thousands of patients a year avoid surgery with great results. The most common patients we see are knee arthritis or meniscus tears, shoulder work cup tears, shoulder arthritis. Quite a few patients with hip osteoarthritis, ankle issues, torn ligaments, tendons, osteoarthritis.
Before you consider surgery, visit thestemcellexperts.com. Thestemcellexperts.com. Your shot at $1,000. Now, text the nationwide keyword confidence to 200. You'll get a text.
All right, what were you saying?
So Tom wanted to do a deal where we tell everyone, hey, call right now, get your mortgage statement, we'll see if we can beat your current deal, and then they would kind of like what you guys do with Compass Insurance.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh,
Welcome to the show. As you know, this is the only show of its kind. We solve problems, my goodness. We solve a lot of problems. In fact, Tom's been doing this 38, almost 40 years, just here in Denver. Prior to that, of course, he was in New York and other markets. But I got to tell you, listen to this number. It's absolutely crazy. Over 100 million. Actually, I'm going to go this far. I'm going to say 200 million in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refund services directly due to this show to the listeners out there. If you've been ripped off, you've been taken advantage of, you have a question, I don't care if it's an insurance question, a contractor question, a way of living question, meaning maybe you live in an apartment that it's got rats in it and you need help. It does not matter. This show is made for you. That's it. I get pleasure in going after the bad guys. That's my favorite part of this show. My favorite part of the Troubleshooter show is taking out this gigantic spotlight and shining it on the little rats that run around ripping people off. That's what it is. That is truly the bottom line, is education in revenge. That's it. That's what I love. You have any questions, the number's easy. 303-MARTINO, that number works on and off the air, by the way. You can always email us at help@troubleshooter.com. And, of course, live right now on Facebook, live on YouTube, live everywhere. 303-713-8255. Get those questions in. I like going after stuff. We had one yesterday, by the way. I'm hoping to get a follow-up. E470. This scofflaw owed them. Usually I'm for the consumer, but in this case, how do you go on E470 to the tune of $5,100? That's crazy. He never paid him. He went to renew his car, and guess what? He couldn't get his registration paid. They wouldn't give him new tags because they flagged his car. E470, they have lots of power you didn't know about. So what happened? They were going to give him a $400 discount. We negotiated a better deal. I want to see if he paid it later on in the show. I still can't get over the fact that he did $5,100. Remember, Suzanne, we owed them E470, maybe $150. We had no idea we even owned it. They got rid of everything as far as fees, and we just paid the regular amount, and we
sure
signed
did.
up. They were good. I mean, they worked with us, but this
That's
guy,
crazy.
2 years.
I'm sorry I missed that one. $5,100. Wow.
Suzanne's bummed out today.
So bummed.
I mean, bummed out. Have you, Deputy Dan?
Gosh.
Have you ever? Tom was floored. Have you ever seen anybody that wanted to be a juror more than Suzanne?
She wanted to be there.
It was incredible. Everybody wants to get out of jury duty.
Not me, Mark.
Tom says to her, it's easy. Just say, hey, you work for me and you'll be out.
It was exciting. I feel like I lost a contest.
I know. She was really looking forward to it. Interesting case. I'll talk about it just for a second. I don't think I can talk about whatever I want.
No, I can. Well, yeah. Yeah, you can.
It was the poor trooper that got hit by someone on I-25.
Back in 2016, Cody Donahue.
Yep, Cody Donahue. And the first trial was a mistrial because apparently, the prosecution did not turn over some evidence or share something.
Opposite, Mark. The defense didn't share the...
No, it was a prosecution. I'm almost positive. I think you have that backwards. Double check that. I'd like to know that. But what a horrible case. This guy, and it really makes you think. I don't know what the exact laws are, but the guy apparently wasn't drunk, wasn't anything like that, but he was distracted. And the the trooper had someone pulled over, and the guy apparently crosses the yellow line and hits and kills the trooper.
Yes, you're right, Mark. The prosecution failed to disclose critical information to the defense.
I'm very curious how this is going to turn out because I'd be a horrible juror on this. I'm pro-trooper. I believe that if someone, I don't care if it's a cop, a trooper, whoever, or even a tow truck driver for that matter, but if you have someone pulled over and your lights are on and you're wearing your vest and you're doing everything you should be doing, I do not understand for the life of me, if someone crosses over that line and kills you, they should be in trouble. I'm not saying, I don't know the difference between, say, murder and manslaughter and everything else, but the reality of that whole situation is if you're not paying attention and you kill somebody, you should be held responsible. I'm not saying the guy should go to jail for the rest of his life or anything, but he should be held responsible if he did something wrong. So I'd be a horrible juror.
It was a really sad case, Mark.
You were really bummed out.
I am so gutted.
All right, 303-713-8255. Ryan, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Pretty good. It's Mark, though, Ryan, but go ahead, man.
Oh, Mark, okay. Well, so my problem is I went to a temp agency to apply for work, and I went through all the stuff that you go through, application, background check, all that stuff, drug tests. And this one, which I've never heard of, I'm 37, I've been working for a long time, they have some kind of policy that states you have to write down if you've ever filed for workman's comp. And I'm thinking, and I don't recall anything, so I write down no. He clearly lets me know that if I have had something, to make sure I write it down, because if I don't, then I wouldn't be able to get the job. I wouldn't be able to work for him.
You know, what's curious, I'm not even sure if you're supposed to ask that question. I don't know if that's a myth or not. I'd like to find that out. I did not think you could ask whether or not they've filed for workman's comp. Suzanne, do we have an employment attorney that maybe we could reach out to on that?
I am not sure, Mark. I'll have to check.
I am not sure about that either. Dan, maybe you can find something for me with some of our resources, whether or not you can ask in the state of Colorado if they filed workman's comp. But, Ryan, keep going. So they asked the question and you put no?
Yeah, and I put no because I've worked a lot of jobs. I've done construction. I've cut myself a lot of times.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, you know, I never filed anything. Well, apparently it comes back, and I did.
But you don't remember filing it? That's pretty odd. No, how long ago was it?
I don't even remember the incident happening.
Well, did you work for the company where apparently it happened?
Yeah, I remember that. It was my first job. It was Fuddruckers when I was 15 or 16. Matter of fact, I think it was 16 because it was 97. But from this to show you my memory, I thought I was 15 when I started when I worked there. Maybe I started at 15.
All right, fair enough. So you did. Let's just. Do you acknowledge you must have had the claim at this point?
Well, they said I do, so I must have. They
okay.
said I cut my finger, and I was a dishwasher. So in my mind, I don't remember the incident happening.
Yeah, maybe you just went up to the hospital real quick. Back then, it probably wasn't a big deal.
If I would have went to the hospital, that would have been. I would think that would have been something memorable.
Yeah. So what's the problem, though? So now it came back.
Like that, I would have remembered.
Now they think you're a liar, so they don't want to hire you. Is that the bottom line?
Right. And here's the thing: they didn't say that if I put something down, it would disqualify me. So it's not like I was trying to get out of it. I just don't remember it happening.
Yeah, but it's still, Ryan, it's still an application. I mean, if they don't want to hire you at this time, I don't think there's any teeth you have to make them hire you. Just find a different job. My God, right now you can find a job anywhere. I'll try to help you get a job right now. What do you do? What kind of job are you looking for? That was, what'd you say, it was a temp agency?
It was a temp agency.
Yeah, but what kind of work are you qualified for? Let's see who's listening right now. I know so many companies hiring right now, it's unbelievable.
Well, I'm a personal trainer by trade, but I'm trying to get something into something more or less just something steady and dependable.
Well, like what? What other, you know, like restaurant business, what? I mean, right now you're talking to thousands of people. What can you do?
Warehouse work. I've done warehouse work, forklift.
How about Amazon? Do you have a criminal background? Let's get to the basics here. Do you have a criminal background?
I do have a criminal background.
Ah, see, that makes it so hard. Is it what kind of trouble?
Well, I have a that goes back in 2006, and then some DUI stuff.
Ah, so driving's going to be out. This sucks, man. This sucks. I always wonder about this. One side of me says, man, you cause these problems. Too bad, so sad. The other side goes, man, that's 12 years ago. I assume most of it was 10, 12 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So someone should give you a shot. So have you been in any trouble in the last 10 or 12 years?
Just traffic cases with the DUI. That was 8 years ago.
That was 8. Do you have your license back and you can drive now?
No, that's what I'm working on doing right now.
Oh, man. You're in a tough spot. I'm not quite sure what to say. If you want, if anybody out there is looking for help, give some other ideas besides personal trainer. I mean, these gyms are popping up everywhere. Right in Castle Rock, there's they turned the King Supers into a 24-hour fitness or whatever it is. I mean, gyms are literally blowing up everywhere, so I find it hard to believe you can't get a job at one of them. But maybe it comes back to that background.
Honestly, I just moved back here from Tucson. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I've never had this kind of problem getting a job. And with my background, managing gyms and everything, or training departments, like I've never had not been able to have my pick of what gym I want to go to. I've filled out applications for 6 of them. Haven't heard back from 1.
Well, if anybody out there is in the gym or the fitness business and they're looking for an employee, why don't you? And you'd be willing to start anywhere in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, start anywhere, but I'm a trainer. I mean, I'm real good at what I do.
All right, well, cool, man. So let us put the word out, live at troubleshooter.com, live at troubleshooter.com, if you have a job for Ryan. 303-713-8255. We'll be right back.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage by
Drive in the metro area in Texas, northbound I-25, stop and go from Hampton, backed up all the way past Bellevue at this time.
So going in and out, Seth?
No, it's better.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
thank you.
I just think that
I'm done with Ryan.
little plug-in and stuff is not making great contact.
No, it seems solid now.
Okay.
So
Good,
thank
good,
you.
good, good, good.
And Highway 6 closed. Once again, Clear Creek Canyon 4 rock scaling operations. The weather forecast. Well, it's going to be mostly sunny today. 20 seconds to the KNH 60.
Oh, I keep forgetting I got these lives now.
Yeah.
K-How.
Rocket Mortgage is with you every step of the way to provide a seamless mortgage experience. Visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender. NMLS number 330.
You know, I think Ted at K&H Windows is crazy. By the way, they do siding doors, they do everything else. But if you want a great deal right now on windows, siding doors, listen to this. I'm not even sure how he does this, and I'm not sure how many people have actually got to name their own deal and got it, but that's what he's doing. So if you want new triple pane glass, you call up and say, hey, I've talked to other companies, maybe you've got other bids out there, and you make him an offer. Let's say you got a bid from another company, and that bid is $25,000 for new siding and windows and everything. You call Ted up, you call up K&H Windows, and you say, hey, can you guys do this for $15,000? You name the deal. If they can do it, I assure you they're going to do it. Give these guys a call. We have known Ted and the gang down there at KH Windows forever. But really, call up right now, make your deal. If you have other stuff, call them right now. 303-421-7100. Name your own deal, K&H Home Solutions, 303-421-7100. Woo! That is a little tougher, man. I'm not used to having to stay on 60 and 30.
Next time you need a garage door repair or replacement, call Don's Garage Doors at 303-738-DOOR. That's 303-738-3667 or online at Don's Garage Doors.
Do you do different percentages, Steph?
Different percentages?
Yeah, you always do the same percentage when you're buying or selling or whatever? Like Frank will negotiate sometimes.
No, I'll work with clients
Okay.
as the case.
Will you let him out of a contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't hold anyone to a long-term contract with me.
A mouthful of veneers, Aurora, orthodontics, and
She's a pleasant person.
I try to be.
She's so pleasant.
Well, yeah. If they're not happy, you don't want to, you know.
Oh, gosh, I'm
Oh,
not
they'll
gonna
make
force
your life
anybody.
miserable.
Nobody will.
Oh,
They'll make you
gosh, no.
crazy, for sure.
If we're under contract on a property, then it's a different story.
Sure.
If you're already working, but I've never had
If you're
any-
under contract.
Sure.
Well, of course.
But
That'd be the time you do get rid of someone.
I know.
Right at
No.
closing. Hey,
Yeah.
Stephanie, I don't need you anymore.
I don't like you. You said.
But you know, we see this trend all the time. We have buyers call. They're like, I'm not going to use a realtor because I can get a better deal. I'm like, you are absolutely out
You're
of your
out
mind.
of your mind, yeah.
You're crazy.
But you know what? I will tell you, in my entire career, I've never had one person opt to get out of a contract with me and stop working with me. So.
Yeah.
Because I'm generally a pleasant person.
You seem like you'd be really unreasonable, really difficult to work
Horrible.
with, a nightmare to communicate with. I mean, I don't know. I
That
don't
would be the
believe
biggest thing is not communication.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
yeah.
When I'm working with other agents and I can't get people to talk to me, or when I'm trying to reach my clients and I can't get responsive.
You bet. You bet. When you need to, especially when
Yeah.
it comes to the 11th hour. There.
Oh, yeah. Now, I always plan deadlines ahead of time, so I'm never bumping
Waiting
it.
for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to bump
Oh, gosh. No, I try and keep people informed of what's going on. And
Yeah, I got a question. Do you recommend home inspectors and stuff?
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Are they the home inspector that digs for everything, or are they the home inspector who lets everything go so they don't break the deal?
Oh no, I want someone to take
Good.
care of my client.
Good. Because let me tell you, there's home inspectors out there that
They're awful. Well,
they're
you know,
awful.
you have home inspectors on both sides of the scale. You have people who, like you said, just kind of look and don't really downplay everything.
Mm-hmm.
You have people that scare factor people too.
Sure.
I like
sure.
people who
Yes.
truly advocate
Right.
for the client, but don't put the, don't scare them unnecessarily, but also, don't overlook things just in, keeping the deal in mind. We can always find another house
Right. Right.
if we
No,
have to.
Good point.
Yeah, I'd rather them get a good property.
As he already won the border
In fact, if I was versus appraisal, Brent, I would want the home inspection to be a big thing because the guy's going to fall on a loan. It could very easily because the foundation has issues.
We had one recently that we told the buyer to back out of, had a foundation issue.
Really?
And the seller wanted to escrow money and make it their problem. I'm like, no way. Absolutely.
All right, 303-713-8255. As you know, the only show of its kind. We do have a line open. I'll let you guys know when ones drop off. 303-713-8255. Once again, don't forget 303 Martino. Works on and off the air. We call people back all the time. We call them outbound. Live at Troubleshooter.com. You can always join us on Facebook and YouTube and get the video look, too. We do live video streaming constantly, thanks to Deputy Dan over there. Now, in studio with me today, then I promise, Jeff and Jim, I'll get to you guys. But Brent Ivinson with Ideal Home Loans. Brent, what's going on, man?
Oh, rates are great right now.
Yeah?
What's going on? Yeah.
What's great? What's great?
30-year fixed rates, 4.375% with an APR of 4.59.
It was cresting 5 not long ago.
Yeah, we were over 5.
You were?
5 1/8, 5 1/4 in late last year. So, here's kind of...
So the Fed eased a little.
Well, here's the deal. What's happened is with Brexit and everything that's going on economically, we're starting to see a little bit of softening, and that's helping out with interest rates. But to put this in perspective, on a $250,000 mortgage, if you would have looked at doing a loan a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, it is now $122 a month cheaper than it was just about...
If someone got a loan, and let's say they got one, I don't know, 4 months ago or whenever, when it was 5 1/4, does it even make sense for 1 point to refinance? In other words, if they called you right now and they just got into a loan, so the reality is they just paid fees.
Yeah.
So would it make sense to jump that quick?
Well, it depends on how long you're going to be there, and it depends on the size of the loan. You used to use this 1% rule, right? Used to be what we all kind of customarily looked at. But now with loan amounts being higher, average home prices being higher, that doesn't necessarily hold water all the time. So what you've got to really look at is this. How much are you saving? What's it going to cost you? And does that delta or that break
if someone, okay, here's what I want to know. If someone calls you right now, not onto the air, but if someone calls over to Ideal right now, and they say, hey, I'm in my 30-year, here's where I'm currently at.
Yep.
Can you do better? I don't care what the interest rate is. Let's throw all of that stuff out. Literally, we do this with Compass sometimes, the insurance. Would you give them a free look? Can you actually show them, we'll save you this, or we'll save you this over a 15-year period? Maybe they're in a 30 and their cash flow, because the economy's so good now, maybe their cash flow's better, and they, instead of a 30, they want to get into a 15. But you can show them how much they're going to save over those 15 years they didn't do. Or if they do whatever you call it, the custom term
loan.
You can show them, if they have the ability and great cash flow right now, maybe they could get into a 12-year loan, pay off that house in 12 years instead of 20 plus. How much does a typical person save? I mean, honestly.
Well over 6 figures in payments and interest when you go to a shorter-term loan. All the time. All the time. And here's what we're seeing, too, right now.
We're in a 15.
Those with credit card debt, we're saving them so much cash flow every month that we show them how to take half of it and apply it towards their new loan, and they end up paying their house off more quickly and lowering their effective interest rate on all their debt by accelerating the payoff of that house. So what ends up happening is you're putting money in your savings account, getting out from underneath the credit card payments, and you are paying things off more quickly and typically saving yourself a huge chunk of payments and interest on your mortgage.
Stephanie Thomas, realtor, Colorado Springs. You're with Red Bow Realty.
Yes.
I've known you forever.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, your husband, Mike, worked for me,
15 years ago.
Yeah, 15-plus years ago. He helped me sell that business. Actually, that's the one thing I've never... I did thank Mike for that, but he helped me sell that last location of Mountain Peak Computers years ago.
Yep.
But you got into real estate, and we get so many people calling up with kudos. Now, you haven't, like Frank Duran's been doing it most of his life, but you've now been in it, what, 5, 10 years?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
See, I was right there.
Yeah,
you give it big enough range, you're going to make it.
Definitely.
So what's the real estate biz in Colorado Springs like right now? Is it slowing? I read an article, now we're talking nationwide, that it's actually speeding back up. They thought it got bad for a minute, but then all of a sudden, new home sales are starting to pop again.
Absolutely. You know, we traditionally get a little slower through the holiday months anyway. And coming out of that and coming back into spring, we are going to see that increase in the buyer pool again, especially with interest rates as good as they are. We definitely are seeing that pick back up. So that's going to improve our price, price increases again, days on market, all of that.
Very cool. Any questions on any of this? And then, Brent, can I just give out the regular ideal home loans number? Because I would love to see if someone's been sitting out there forever, whether or not you can help them. Sure. 303-867-7000. That's Ideal Home Loans. You simply call them up. You say, here's my monthly payment. How many years do I have left? They'll ask you whatever questions. You'll make it simple.
Yep, absolutely. We'll make it simple and easy and see, hey, if you can get a better deal.
Are you going to dive in like how much debt do you have? Do you actually ask these questions?
We can get into that as well, or we can simply take a look at, hey, what's your current situation and can you do better?
And can you do better? Can you save money? Yep. Simple as that. Now, I'm a firm believer in this, so I don't care about the cash flow aspect of it, and here's what I mean. If someone, and I hope, and I know you guys do this right, but if someone is 15 years into a 30-year and they're finally over that hump where they're paying more principal than they are interest, I don't believe in these guys redoing a 30 because they start just paying more and more and more interest.
Right, that's exactly right. You know, in what you're talking about, we talk to clients about this all the time, is when you borrow money, so much goes towards interest at the beginning and so little towards principal. You want to get to that delta where those two paths cross.
That's right.
And when you're at that point, you are now applying way more to it. So we take that into consideration, look at it on an AM schedule, and make sure that you're making the right financial decision for you and your family.
Jim, I feel like I'm holding a job fair. What's going on? Jim, you're up.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
Yes, I see you're an aerospace engineer. I have trouble buying this, but go ahead, sir.
No, I've been looking since early 2016.
Yeah. Are you holding out for a space shuttle job or what?
Well, no, that's already gone. Space shuttle.
That's true. That is gone.
I used to work on the space shuttle.
Did you really?
Anyway, yes.
What does an aerospace engineer do? What did you actually engineer?
Well, I started manufacturing and then went into industrial engineering.
Who'd you work for, like Lockheed? Who'd you work for in Colorado?
I started at Martin Marietta.
Got it.
And then ended up at Lockheed.
And you're seriously looking for a job. So there's no jobs in aerospace right now? I would think right now it would be huge in, like, say, Texas. I mean, there's a bunch of people in Texas launching rockets.
Right. I just moved here, though, recently, so I don't know if I could handle another move this time.
Where'd you move from?
California.
Okay. Well, why'd you move there? I bet you moved there because you can't even afford to live there anymore.
No, I moved there for aerospace.
Okay. What'd you move here for, then?
To take care of my folks.
Oh, okay.
They since passed. So.
What did you honestly think of California? I read some articles where, like, San Francisco is just, you know, well, to be honest, it looks like a hellhole.
It is. It's pretty much been that way for quite a while.
Has it really? Do you think that's just because of the taxation?
Well, yeah, it's 13% income tax.
Oh, just on the state level? Yeah. I didn't know it was that high. I mean, I realized the gas was high. I realized everything in the world was high.
Always $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
Tax, and they're thinking of new taxes all the time.
Well, Jim, you can always you can check back occasionally, but if anybody out there is hiring in the aerospace engineering department, hey, Deputy Dan, you're an engineer. Any ideas?
Oh, boy, not in the aerospace. I was petroleum. So.
Hey, that mic, by the way, is feeding back, Grant. It's not a big deal. But, Jim, you got any other questions or anything? If anybody listening is looking for something, or they're looking for somebody like Jim, or have any ideas for him, help@troubleshooter.com. Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, I believe they're kind of shy away from my age. And
how old are you?
I'm 64.
Well, I'm sure they are. Now, they're not allowed to, but I have a feeling they do.
I'm sure they do.
I kind of look at that. When it comes to an engineer, Deputy Dan excluded in this, you would think the older, the more wiser. Honest to goodness, you would think so.
Yeah,
Brent, wouldn't you? Certain things, like a professor.
Wait, you know, I'm sitting in between you and him. You're putting me in a really tough spot here.
Right in the firing squad there.
Right.
But honestly, when you think of some things like a math professor or an attorney, some professionals, a doctor, a brain surgeon, I don't want the 25-year-old kid. No. I had the 25-year-old kid when I got my vasectomy. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. And let me tell you, 1 year I was in pain. I'm not going to get into that much bigger. But Jim, in your field, I do wonder why they don't like that. I mean, my God.
They don't want to pay the money.
Oh, okay, because they can hire.
They don't want to pay the money for the experience. They can hire 2 or 3 other people.
Yeah, but they're still not going to have the same level of experience.
Yeah, they're...
Once again, Deputy Dan excluded.
Well, my wife's been in it for years, too, and she's still working there.
Yeah.
And she comes home every night, and they said they're just screaming for help. And I'm jumping up and down here.
Maybe you tell them, hey, I'm willing to take a little less. Why not take less? I mean, if you've got some kind of retirement.
Less, but I'm willing to go back in.
Yeah, okay.
Work my way up through again, so.
All right, well, hopefully maybe we get an email for you or something, man.
I have a lead for him, so put him on hold.
Oh, well,
okay.
There you go. Problem solved. Hold tight. 303-713-8255. Brent, in your business, what's your average, if someone calls up to get that free look at what they're doing, see if they can save money, what's your average employee's age? Do you hire just young guys, old guys, a range of everything?
We've got the full spectrum. So we've got people that have been in it for a long time and people that have been in it for a couple of years and came to work for us, you know, right out of school and had never been in the industry. And we trained them and showed them how to do the business and how to get things done.
Stephanie, most realtors seem to be, well, I don't know. They're the full gamut, too. I think there's more female real estate agents. I think I've met more female realtors. Would you say yay or nay to that?
I think there's a good mix across the board.
You think it's like a 50-50 or close?
Yeah, I think so.
Age-wise?
All the way across the board. You've got people getting in their early 20s, and then they say this is the business people don't retire from, and you will...
Here's what sucks. Here's what sucks about your industry is sometimes people just get in it because they think, hey, I can sell a house and make $3-4 grand instantly. And,
oh, absolutely.
And they're in there, they have no idea what they're doing, and ultimately they don't end up there. Jeff, hold tight, 303-713-8255. We're going to take a break. You're on the Troubleshooter Network.
Year.
I believe it. Just like businesses.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, everyone gets in it. It's just like Mark said, oh, hey, it's easy. I can just, you know, how hard is it to sell a house? And they don't realize you're dealing with clients and they got issues and problems. And you got contracts and it's a negotiation the whole time.
People think
how about buying a brand, I'm going to ask you this, a brand new house. I'm going to buy, you know, new neighborhood, Highlands Ranch, Castle Rock, Colorado Springs, brand new neighborhood, new build. Why use a realtor?
Because...
I'm not going to tell you why.
Well, I know exactly why you want to.
Or, I mean, I don't want to hear you tell me why until we're back on air.
Tease them.
Yeah.
No, because you need an advocate there, too.
For sure, because the builder's got their own contract.
Their own contract, and it's very deceiving where the sales associate that's helping you works for the builder and not you. And people get that feeling like they work for them because they assist them with the documents. They assist them, you know.
Yeah, you don't know if you have a good or bad realtor until something happens.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hold on, guys. All right, serious, dead serious topic here. The Raleigh House. Tom and I went out there and checked out their new facility. It's out towards Watkins. It is gorgeous. It's like a ranch, but it's huge. It's absolutely beautiful. They have different areas in there. When people check in and they're still basically coming off of the sauce or coming off of the juice or the drugs, they've got an area for that, and they've got a beautiful group facility. But they handle everything. It's medically based treatment. It's real treatment. They have individual treatment plans. But this new place is absolutely gorgeous. But what I love about these guys more than anything is they will dive into you and help you personally. If someone in your life is an addict and you can't get through to them, we have this phone number for you to call. Give them a call. They'll tell you how to talk to an addict. They're not going to try to get you to sign up or do that. Or if you are the addict, they can give you great advice. Call the number if you know someone that can be helped. 720-963-9201. 720-963-9201.
Off the sauce. That's in plain English.
Right. Get off the sauce. Yeah. Get off the sauce. That's what you said.
It is what it is.
Get off the sauce, the powder, the needle.
Yeah. You don't want to go to the free injection sites.
tells it like it is. I like it.
That's right. Good.
I had a neighbor.
You should have said off the wagon.
Is it off the wagon? On the wagon or off the wagon?
Daniel,
yep.
I emailed you Mark with AMCO.
Who's Mark with AMCO?
Honest to goodness, you will never believe what BioShield can do for you. Men and women. They're really age fighters at Revitalized Health.
No, it's that Amoco one from last week. The owner of Amco called or sent an email saying he wants to tell his side of the story because there's a lot more to it.
Is he coming on?
I told him Friday and stuff. He wasn't there when I called him this morning. Okay. I said if we can do it on Friday and stuff because I want to get Mark on the guy also. I could try calling them both. I will. Next break I'll try calling them both.
2302. Or how about this? TheHormoneBros.com. TheHormoneBros.com. You will love the experience. They have instant blood tests and all of the therapy you need to stay young and healthy. HormoneBros.com. If you or a loved one suffer from adult incontinence, you can.
I hear someone calls up that the Aerospace Corporation has engineer openings in Colorado Springs.
Who is it?
It says the Aerospace Corporation. Is that a job? Is that a company?
My neighbor works for ULA. I just sent him a text.
Who's that? United Airlines?
United Launch Alliance.
Launch Alliance?
Yeah, they spun off one of the divisions out of Lockheed, and that's what it is.
Oh, it's a company. The Aerospace Corporation is a company.
Isn't Trump putting money back into NASA or something? Didn't you just say something like we're going back to the moon or something?
Space Force, baby. Space Force.
I do like the idea. The name needs to be rethought, though. I don't agree with that. Space Force.
Space Force.
Sounds like
terrific.
Space Force. Awesome. Solve everyone's problems. Space Force.
He's very... He says it how it is, too. No, we don't want anybody in Space Force on the sauce. No sauce.
No sauce for these guys.
Do you think they ever get a drink on that space station? No. Do you think they have a bottle of wine up there?
No.
Nah. I bet the Russians bring up wine.
That's what they do. First of all, it would... Imagine you start drinking there, now you're going to be peeing more. So it can't be very pleasant to be peeing all the time up there.
True.
I don't know.
It's a good question. I haven't thought about that. Ask my neighbor, maybe he knows.
Just a little hooch. Just a little hooch with them.
A little whiskey? No.
A little hooch. There's you guys watch Shameless? They got Frank's trying to get to be the face of Hobo Loco, which is this horrible pint of crap. Hobo Loco. I love freaking
I know you do. You like, but to me, it just bothers me a little bit because it's so. The people are so.
They're so shameless.
Right.
Yeah, I'm talking to Dan about Shameless. I love Shameless. You have Showtime. Shameless is one of the best. You know, the one that Tom doesn't like that drives me crazy, and it's coming back out soon, is the, what's that one?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. He can't get into it. Now we're talking about the guy, Martino, like, he watches so much TV and binges so much, it would blow anybody away. It's not naturally possible, but he does do it. Now, trust me, he's a workaholic, but I've never seen a guy sit there and watch something on his phone. And it's crazy. It's something different every day. Brent, what do you watch? Anything like those?
You know, we watch cheerleading, 9-year-old baseball, 9-year-old flag football at my house.
Wow! I hope
Sounds exciting.
I hope you have kids.
We're going a lot of different directions. Not a lot of TV watching at my house.
Not a lot, yes. All right, 303-713-8255. Jeff, what's going on, sir?
Hello.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
Well, I wanted to comment on the Cody Donahue case. I heard the pain in Suzanne's voice, and it compelled me to call.
Oh.
I live one house away from the Donahues.
Oh, man.
And I just want to tell you, whatever that was going to happen with this case, it's deplorable that this family has suffered like they have. I used to watch Cody, playing catch with the girls in the street and teach them to ride bikes.
Yeah, it's horrible.
And they're missing out on all that stuff, and they're turning into lovely young ladies very, very quickly.
I'll give you one of the reasons I'm almost positive Suzanne was removed from the jury, and babe, feel free to jump in on this, but our daughter went to State Patrol Youth Academy just last year. So, I mean, she spent plenty of time with these troopers, and that was something she had to disclose on the jury questionnaire. And you got re-question on that as well. Didn't the judge ask you?
Yes.
So I have a feeling that's exactly why she's gone. Not that she couldn't be honest and a good juror, but, you know, if you're the defense, you're going, oh, this isn't good.
I was a true catch, Mark.
Yes, you were.
His wife is one of the strongest people I've ever seen.
How's she doing, by the way, Jeff? She okay?
I don't know her well, but it seems like things are going better.
That's good.
You know, she's a realtor and she gets things done, and you know, and I see the girls and they're always friendly and wave. I mean, they used to, like, you know, ride their bikes in and out of our garage. My wife knew the kids really, really well, but it's just sad to see that. And I can tell you, it affected our little block like you can't believe. I will never forget the limo pulling away with the family to go to the funeral. I'm getting choked up talking about it, but our whole block to this day, there are blue lights on every porch.
That came right out of that funeral left Castle Rock, right? Down like, I want to say Wolfsenberger area.
I believe it did. Yeah,
I think I watched that. I think we were right behind it coming to the tech center that day. It was crazy. There was so many people. There was fire trucks. It was crazy. It was quite the procession.
Well, everybody on our block that was home that morning, we were all waving and cheering for them as they drove away, you know, on the street, and it just tore us up. It just really tore us up watching those kids.
Well, I appreciate the call, man, and everybody here at the Troubleshooter Network, our thoughts and prayers go out to that family, and hopefully there's not another mistrial, and they can finally get to the point to, regardless of what happens, get this behind them. I mean, it does kind of suck, mistrials, because she's going to have to listen to that same testimony again, depending on how far they got in the first trial, which I don't know.
Right.
So
I'll hope for the best, but thank you for listening to me.
Of course, Jeff. Thank you for calling in. 303-713-8255. So, I've got a question. Deputy Dan, listen to this. By the way, we've got lines open. 303-713-8255. My daughter got rear-ended last week. Car got totaled. Anybody out there, I'm going to give you some advice that's unbelievable if you ever got hit. If you ever get hit and it's someone else's fault, this is very important. And I'm not talking the medical side to this. I'm not talking the personal injury. I'm talking literally about your vehicle. We get calls constantly, and I mean all the time, and emails. Hey, someone else hit my car, they totaled my car, they only want to give me X amount. Well, here's what I did to get our car totaled. And I wanted this vehicle totaled. First of all, if you go through your own insurance company, you can't do it. You simply can't do it. If someone else hits you and they have insurance, and your vehicle's somewhat newer, let's say 3 years old, and it doesn't have 1,000,000 miles on it, but even if it does, it can still work. You need to start talking about a diminished value claim. These folks, the vehicle that got totaled, my daughter's vehicle last week, was a 2018 Elantra. It got rear-ended. By looking at it, you wouldn't think, wow, there's not much damage there. But the body shop wrote it up for $10,500. And they said, we also have to check the frame at some point. So I called the other insurance company. It was American Family. And the vehicle's worth probably $14,000, $15,000. They said, well, we're probably going to fix it. And I said, well, okay, but listen to me and listen to me good. Here's what I think the diminished value is going to be. And I sent them paperwork showing a different vehicle that I happen to have a Carfax on. That Carfax showed a severe accident, which this would have. With the severe accident, the dealer trade-in was only X amount. On that particular vehicle, I want to say it was $8,000. That same type vehicle, with an absolute, and I mean absolute clean one-owner Carfax, they were willing to give $13,000. So even though the other one was fixed 100%, and we're not talking salvaged, we're talking the officer, I think it was Douglas County, put on the accident report severe damage on the vehicle I'm talking about. That ended up on the Carfax. If you looked at it, there was no way in 1,000,000 years that you could tell it was an accident, but just that on the Carfax brought the value down that much. So I told this woman, I said, listen, after 35 days of a car rental for us, because, you know, that's how long the body shop's going to take, plus any supplementals that can come on the body shop, plus the diminished value claim in the information I sent you, I want it totaled. So I got the call today, they totaled it. Now, understand this. If you're going after your own insurance company, you cannot go after diminished value, at least not in the state of Colorado. It's contractual within your agreement or your policy. But anybody out there, if you start arguing with people the value of your vehicle, and it's with the other insurance company, you have to, and I mean it, bring up diminished value. Even if it's an older vehicle, it's worth bringing up. It absolutely is. All right, let's take a quick break. Chris, I appreciate you holding on. I'll come to you next. 303-713-8255.
No, that's a big deal. I say just...
No. What's that?
Well, you're right. You even up the car that they're going to have to give you, the rental car.
Oh, $80 a day. Here's why it's 80. She's 16.
Yeah.
I told them, I said, here's going to be the bottom line. She can't rent it. She's not going to drive my freaking car. So her brother, who's 18, is going to end up renting it. There's a $50 surcharge on the rental each day because he's only 18. He's under 21.
Right.
So I spelled out my case to him. Ultimately, it's going to end up costing you money.
Right.
And then if they find frame damage...
Text Mike. See what Mike says.
No, yeah, that's the thing.
Got it.
I think I finally got mine with Allstate told me.
Oh, did you?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I
remember last time you said this. Yeah.
Well, I finally, they gave me this deal. Oh, we have to give you what the car was worth the day it was wrecked. I'm like, I don't need what it was.
Hold on, guys. Fix it 24/7. I'll make this deal simple, screaming. It's a great deal. Licensed, insured, background check, HVAC tech, or plumber to your house for $39. Any problem you have, they'll come out and look at and give you a diagnostic report and a good estimate to fix it. That's 24/7. Any issue you have with HVAC, or plumbing, give them a call right now. 720-526-3939, 526-3939.
But that was the thing I used with them. Is I was like, look, when I turn this lease in, they're going to crucify me.
For what was it?
My car. My car that I got in a wreck.
Oh, it was leased.
Oh,
it was leased, yeah.
Because the good argument. I want to bring that up on air. That's a great argument.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, if you're leasing a vehicle, you're right. Because I'll tell you, if I was the guy taking it back, I'd be like, bullshit, man. This thing's got a severe accident or any accident.
That's right.
And I bet you in the lease agreement it spells it out. Even if that thing was repaired so good.
I didn't. I know that it's a BMW. BMW Financial Services has gap insurance built into their lease in case they run into a problem. But that's what I told them. I told Allstate, I'm like, look, you got to get on the phone with BMW Financial Services. I go, you don't want to repair this car. They don't want it back, and I don't want it back either. So let's figure out how to make this go away. And when I finally laid into them, I was like, well, look, I'm going to get crucified when I turn this car back in.
Yeah.
So I need something from you guys that says you're going to be there to scratch a check.
There you go.
When I turn this thing back in.
And
Well, we can't. I'm like, well, okay. I go, then let me talk to your counsel. Let me talk to your legal team.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Let me get something in writing. Well, we know it's not the way it works. I'm like, I don't care how it works. I'm just telling you how it's going to go. It's going to be a problem.
Hello, Radio.
So you still have, yours is 3/4 of a point you'll refinance, right?
Yeah, so if it goes down by 3/4 of a point or more, we'll refinance your loan with no lender fee.
So it did, actually, we're from the top to where it is now. Has it been 3/4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And then if the appraisal's within 6 months, they wouldn't need that, right?
Now we're going to have to get a new appraisal done.
Period.
But here's the deal. We're seeing a lot of property inspection waivers where, we run it through underwriting. Fannie cross-references their database and says, hey, we accept the value of the property, and away we go. So it just depends on what they give us back when we run it through automated underwriting.
Imagine if they want to take a lot of extra money out and stuff. Then
you're going to need an appraisal, typically. Although we've seen some cash-out deals come back with no appraisals, too. So,
that's nice.
Yeah, it is. Well, they've been aggregating all this data, and they're...
Where are your good rates right now? What are the rates right now?
4.375 is a 30-year fixed rate right now. Yeah, that's good.
That's really
That is good. So,
got a question on the VA.
Okay.
This is out of state. This is in Kansas or something.
Okay.
Can the lender say, I don't want to do that loan for you because you've got bad credit scores?
VA has certain requirements, yes.
Okay.
That they can say,
Well, of course they do.
Okay.
So,
I mean, they have to have income, of course.
Lenders have the overlays.
But if they qualify, they can't say, I don't want to do that loan.
Right.
But that would be crazy anyhow, because they make a shitload more off of a VA. Right?
But this lender is not saying it because it's a manufactured home.
Oh, can a VA do a manufactured home?
Yes, if they own the property, right?
Yeah.
Are they a pain in the ass, Brent?
Yeah,
Manufactured homes?
Yeah, they are a pain.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
They're tough to get through underwriting. And the problem, what you run into on a VA loan is, so the VA appraiser goes out, and those guys are...
They're the ones that, like, you got to repaint.
Yeah,
New home. This would be a new put on there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you should be fine with that. VA, it's normally we run into on VA is the appraisal.
Is that a trailer as well?
No, it should be. Depends if it's.
I don't think they do the trailers.
No, they don't.
So the trailer's literally got like a title.
Well, also it's not permanent, right?
Yeah, it's got to be on a permanent foundation.
It's got to be on a permanent.
Modular manufactured, yeah. They're the same.
So module is basically like a steel building.
No.
I mean, really, it's a real house.
Manufactured like a mobile home.
No, this is. I thought they called even like what you're saying. I thought they called anything.
Modulars typically lend like a stick-built house.
Yeah, mod God is how they look at that.
Okay, so
manufactured.
A manufactured is a mobile then, right? That's the.
Yeah,
but okay, so you said say a modular. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're made in the factory. A modular is made
right,
in the
but they're
factory.
assembled on site. They're assembled to a foundation.
Right. Usually to a right, and this would be on a foundation and everything. And he owns the property and everything. Right?
Yeah, because we're kind of the rule of thumb when I first got in the business, similar is mod God, man bad. Mod God, man bad. So modular, you're good. Manufactured, yeah, fast.
Okay. I like that.
Gotcha. It's like a poem.
Right. I remember all this stuff.
All right, 303-713-8255. Grant, I like your music choice. You know this. I do. I think Metallica should be played in and out of every intro on every show across the country.
That's all for you.
That just says your age.
What do you mean, says my age? They outsell the Pepsi Center if they came to town tomorrow.
Oh, here we go.
Pepsi Center, Veteran Stadium. Now I'm showing my age. I'm going back to Philadelphia when I was about 9. Chris, what's going on with you, sir?
Yeah, Mark, I just wanted to thank you and Suzanne. We had to shop for a car the last couple months for my wife. Ended up with a Hyundai Santa Fe Limited. We absolutely love that thing.
Can I ask you something, Chris?
Sure.
First of all, thank you for the thank you. Second of all, how much did you pay for that Limited? I know so much about everything. I want to know how much you paid.
$37,000.
Okay, you ready to... Okay, listen, why didn't you call me for help on buying it? I'm asking, why?
Well, we were getting rid of a Volvo at McDonald's, and so it was kind of a deal. The Volvo had a lot of issues, so it was kind of a...
Did you roll negative... Did you roll any negative equity in?
Oh, no. The Volvo was paid off. It was having some electrical issues that were making it just impossible to repair.
I feel horrible for saying this, but I truly mean it, because next time you go shopping, and no matter what, your deal wasn't bad. 37's not bad. But we just bought a 19. It was a red one. And
it was the ultimate.
Yeah, Suzanne's has heads-up display. It steers itself. It's got everything. It's got everything my Genesis does. You ready for this? Brand new, 34 plus tax.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man, I will say this about myself. The one thing I pat myself on the back for, and trust me, I have a lot of flaws, but I am a negotiating fool. In fact, I almost take the Trump stance in a lot of ways. I will walk out. I'll do the walkout. I will walk out of the same dealership 5 times. I don't care. Brent, if I was at your place, I don't think you guys negotiate on points, but I'd try. I swear to God I would. I'd tell you I'll walk out right now.
There you go.
I have negotiated stuff people can't imagine. How about a sawmill? Guy had the best price he could get on a sawmill was like $29,000 delivered to his house. I got it for $24,000. I don't know crap about sawmills, but I knew the exact model number, I knew what he wanted, and I know how to shop. Chris, you did good, though. 37 for a Limited is pretty good. Right now, I don't need it, but I've got a listener that's most likely going to go down and buy it. But I found a brand new 19 Tucson for her. A brand new 19 Tucson that's got the, I want to say it's called the Value Edition. So it's all-wheel drive. It's got the things next to it to where people, if they're next to you, it'll warn you. It doesn't steer itself. It doesn't have heads up, but it's got like everything else. $22,900 for this thing. Brand new. It's an incredible price. If you ever are looking for something, and I'm not going to go shop for a VCR for you, or a... God, you know what? I do keep showing my age, a VCR. I'm not going to go shop for little things, but if you're looking for something big, and you already know what you want, and it can't be used. Anytime Tom and I have done this, the problem is people go, I'm looking for a used Ford truck. Well, I'm not going to go out and find a used Ford truck for you. If you know the model and something new, I will help you buy it, and you'll buy it at a better price. It's simple as that. Roger, what's your comment on diminished value, sir?
Hello?
Yes, Roger, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so almost 2 years ago now, it'll be 2 years in April, I was rear-ended. I have a 2012 Dodge Ram pickup.
Got it.
And I was rear-ended by a crotch rocket cruising through the mountains at about 120 miles an hour.
I bet you won that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Is he dead?
There was a lot of witnesses, and I mean, his bike was, there was nothing left of it.
Did he live?
But he did, actually.
Okay.
The imprint of his body was in my tailgate.
That's incredible, man.
And he walked away with broken toes and some bruises and cuts. But anyhow, I mentioned diminished value because my vehicle was, I mean, absolutely immaculate, and they said that they needed to do a put it on the do a frame measurement to make sure that the frame wasn't bent. Because
that has nothing to do with I don't understand what that. Okay, it doesn't matter what they told you. That has nothing to do with diminished value. It doesn't matter what's wrong with the vehicle. If something, listen, Roger. Here's the only argument you got to make now. If it ends up on Carfax, regardless if it's fixed perfectly or not, the value's diminished. Anybody, two exact vehicles, 2012 Ford F-250 Super Duties with the exact same things, exact same mileage. One's got a clean Carfax, one owner. One's got a one owner with a wreck on it. Same price. Which one are you going to buy?
Exactly my point. I get it. So I figured just the fact that that they had to take a frame measurement shows up on the Carfax, that's diminished value. In my eyes, I would steer away from that vehicle if I was going to buy it.
First of all, hold on. Just because you brought something else up. Here is who reports to Carfax. This is amazing. In fact, I'll get into it next hour because this is very important. Hold on, man, because I want to help you out, Roger. It's probably too late on yours, but we can educate a lot of people. So you hold tight. Alberta, Chris, hold tight. One line open, 303-713-8255. This stuff on Carfax that I have learned is incredible. Who reports to Carfax? Brent, do you know the answer to that real quick? Do you know who reports to Carfax?
I don't.
Okay, well, you guys hang tight. My name's Mark Major. You're on the Troubleshooter Network.
2000. God, it's the auto body shops or the insurance companies?
You're helping with his teeth. You're playing into his hands, Brent.
I know. I don't know the answer.
He's salivating.
I want to know. I want to know.
All right, Mark, when I trade my car in, I'm going to take you up on that, and I'm a pretty darn good negotiator myself.
Well, when people call in, the worst is the used shit.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go look at cars.
The easiest car deal to negotiate is one that is not yours. It's a cakewalk.
You're right.
Yeah, you have no emotion.
Oh, I don't care. And I'll tell you, now you're getting ripped off. That sucks.
Oh, yeah, no, I go negotiate my family's car deals.
All the time.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm pretty good, actually.
That guy was shitting when he bought a limited for 37. I get an ultimate for 34. The other thing is you got to wait for rebates.
Yeah.
December is about when you first start buying that model year. When they come out in October or before, don't even touch them. There's nothing left on them.
That's time to buy a car is the last 2 weeks of the year. They're looking to move them. They're looking to make deals. They're looking to do anything.
Or even the first month of the year.
Yep.
Next year.
Yep.
Diminished value.
Well, I'm not ready to trade mine in yet.
They also say the end of the month because if that dealership's not doing good, they want to get better.
Well, if you go to ones that are on, almost all of them are online. You go to any Hyundai dealer around, and you pull up your inventory. Most of them have pricing
I
on
still
right
have
there.
38,000
Once you decipher how to read through the bullshit
discount.
Because they'll throw a military discount in there. Most people aren't military, so they're not going to have it. Once you understand how to decipher the discounts and you get to the real price they're selling the vehicle for, what you'll find is you'll see two of them. They're exactly red. They're both the exact same package, both everything. One of them's literally been on the lot 3 months. The other one's been on the lot 3 days. There's no difference to the buyer, but you will see a $400 or $500 difference as they roll. The floor plan, they're paying too much money.
Right. They want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of the one that's stealing the plan.
I would love, boy, you have to put out so much of your own cash. You floor plan a place like, well, I mean, Rockies does their own. But you find a good, respectable used car dealer that's using a bank for the floor plan. That's under, say, $5 million, and you walk in and you floor plan it 7-8% all day long. Actually, higher than that.
Well, they couldn't live up to it, and the paint was peeling off the back.
Because it's simple interest. If that car's only sitting there 15 days, they're not going to owe you much. But no matter how you look on it, you're still making your percentage like that.
Yeah, your money's working the whole time.
Out of that car.
Do you ever get nervous when, I'm going to ask you this on air too, because you guys, not just you, typically a direct lender's got to hold on to that paper with most banks or whoever or investors for what, 6 months?
Mark,
we'll sell, we'll typically we'll fund it and then get the servicing and everything sold within 21 days.
Honestly,
not very long.
So, but if you hold on to it, no, I understand that, but if you sell it, everything goes great, and for whatever reason they hit the lottery and they pay that thing off in 45 days from closing.
Yeah, we got 6 months. Yeah, it's typically some places we sell to is 90 days, some are 6 months.
Why is that though? Why is that?
Because their whole thing is that you're paid when you sell the loan as part of you're paid part of the interest that's going to be earned over the life of the loan. And so if they don't earn that interest, they come back to you and go, hey, we got paid off early. You got to pay us back what you earned as your portion of the interest.
So those can they go negative or not negative? They just suck.
We call it an EPO, an early payoff.
How often does that happen? See, in the cars it goes the same way. Well, I want to talk about this on air because people don't realize this shit. And it's not bad, it's just reality. Right? When shopping for a car, well, it's like people think if you go in and say, hey, I've got cash, that's the worst thing in the world.
My buddy's we've got a couple cars we've had for a long time.
I recommend this super pill to men everywhere. It will transform your life in the bedroom once and for all. Strong, powerful results that increase your blood flow fast. No prescription side effects.
And we were talking and all of a sudden...
No, referral list is down. The server's down. They're getting it fixed or switching over to the backup.
Yeah, like when I buy cars, I'll tell them, hey, I'll do the financing and I'll make 6 payments and I'll pay it off.
Yeah, they usually want 6 as well. Some want 90. Now, if they do it through, I'll tell you this, like on zeros, like, okay, how do I put this? I always get, the only time I'll like really finance and not get it through a credit union is if the manufacturer, and it's always Hyundai, has 0. So I negotiate up front. I already know my credit's good and qualifies for the 0. So then I get 0, but that's when they'll start bitching because they get nothing. I'll tell them I'll finance, but then at the end I'll tell them who I'm financing through. And they literally get nothing. They lose.
But you said it's usually a 90 or 6 months and stuff? Because they told me when I did mine, I paid it off after a month or 2. And they said, well, you got $500 off for the car, but it wasn't going to matter as far as on the payoff.
Say that again?
I paid mine off after 2 months.
Yeah.
Well, you said it was like a 90 or 6 months?
Yeah, I've heard 6 months in the car business.
Well, I know all the credit unions, Security, Federal, Belco, they're all 6 months with the dealers.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Because they're making it those first 6 months. They pay the bank between $800 and $1,500. I don't mean high risk shit. I mean normal everyday people. Right. Think of that. That can be their profit in the entire deal.
Sure.
And used cars. That's where they make money too.
We're going to show you how you can be active and functional again without surgery.
I'll tell you the best thing I negotiated in my life, as far as a one-time turnaround, is that building in Denver. Killed it. Absolutely killed it. Over $1 million on one fucking deal. And you have no idea how hard I had negotiated to get that building. I just came off of a bankruptcy, not a nickel to my name, and I had to convince this guy to sell it to me on fucking paper. My cash flow was great, but I just came out of a bankruptcy, literally. My cash flow was unbelievable. But, you know, I asked Brett, that's not good. You can make $100,000 a year, but if you just came out of a bankruptcy 2 weeks before, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't love it. So he held the paper on.
Yeah, he was the lender. He was literally the lender. I gave him whatever, $70,000, $80,000 down, and convinced him. And I got a great interest rate for a commercial loan.
But you probably wrote in the contract that you're 1 month late, whatever. I can take the building back.
I had the contract written. It was as normal as a deal you do with Brett. Really? Yep. Commercial is a little different, but same shit.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what blew me away. I'll tell you the one thing. I thought I knew everything about my cash flow going into it. The one that hit me that I didn't know was fucking Denver stormwater. Boy, they killed me each year. It's like 17 grand. It's like property tax.
I would like to see what California is like.
Did you hear? I didn't know they had 13%.
Oh, I did.
So let's say you're high income, you got 38%, 13. Your 51% of your income's gone living there.
But I don't know where it starts. I don't think it starts for everybody at 13.
I have a friend who moved out of there and said they were...
All right, 303-713-8255. This is the Troubleshooter Show, where we take your questions, your complaints. We go after the bad guys. We take it very seriously. We help you with your life. If you have any issues whatsoever, you simply pick the phone up. I've got one line open right now, 303-713-8255. And like I always say, you can reach us on or off the air. 303-MARTINO works all the time. By the way, Tommy Boy, he's down giving a talk. He does this once a year. It's Fort Carson, correct, Suzanne? I'm almost positive.
Yeah, it is, Mark.
So... now I don't know what to say.
Hey, you've done that too. You called me Susan one time, so me accidentally calling you Tom is acceptable.
I am used to callers, by gosh, calling me Martino. But my own wife? This is war, young lady. Seriously, we get directly involved. When there is a real bad guy out there, sleazebrigade.com. Check it out. You'll read up on people out there that'll make you see stars. They absolutely will, and if you listen to the show a lot, you've probably been to Sleaze Brigade. We've got the worst of the worst on there. People that have done things that'll blow you away. And by the way, if you have new neighbors, new people that have not heard the show, I had someone out, I had an adjuster out at my house yesterday looking at that car I was talking about first hour. He shows up and he's like, oh, I listen every day. I have no idea. I have no idea how he put it together unless, of course, he's looking at my name. I don't know. But he had questions. He said, man, I've never knew how much I could learn. I have a thing with E470 right now, and I happened to tune in yesterday, and that guy had the same problem. His wasn't 5,200. This adjuster's was only like 800, but it was crazy. Now, I want to go back to diminished value. Roger... We were talking about your vehicle and diminished value. Listen to what I'm saying on the frame damage. And here's what diminished value is for... understand, folks, we have new audiences tune in and out all the time. So diminished value, you can go after in most car wrecks if the other person is to blame and you're dealing with their insurance company. If you put it through your own insurance company, you have a contractual agreement, most likely, that you cannot go after diminished value. So diminished value, the biggest problem with it has become because of Carfax. Before Carfax, back in the day, and I'm not talking big luxury cars like Ferraris and Lamborghinis, they've always had diminished value issues. Always. One wreck on a Ferrari, man, and boy, that $250,000 vehicle could drop down $75,000. And when someone's spending that kind of money on a car, let me tell you, they can tell if that thing's ever been repaired. But here's the bottom line. Carfax has changed diminished value, because even if you have it fixed at the best body shop with OEM parts and no one could ever tell anything was done to that vehicle, when people car shop and they see it's been in an accident and they can find another one that hasn't, apples for apples, yours is worth less. It's simple as that. And it gets worse than that. The best way, in my opinion, to sell a used car is a company called Blinker, Blinker.com. Because I can sell a used car that I still owe money on. They'll do all the paperwork. They'll make sure everything's safe and the transaction goes through. They'll make sure the buyer gets the title in the vehicle and the seller gets paid and the loan gets paid off. They do everything. But if there's severe damage listed on the Carfax, you can't even sell your car through it. And more things like that are happening. So diminished value is very real. Roger, in your case, what happened?
Well, I asked the body shop about it, and they said it would absolutely show up on a Carfax report. And I believe they told me it's actually the insurance company that reports to Carfax.
Insurance companies report to Carfax all the time. All the time.
I mentioned it to his insurance company. I had Farmers, he had Progressive. I mentioned it to Progressive, and they acted like no possible way could I ever get a legit claim for diminished value.
Well, they were wrong. They're simply wrong. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But listen, here's the one that gets most people. Body shops, in fact, almost all of them, do not report to Carfax because they don't want their customers pissed. Why would they report to Carfax? They don't want to fix your car, but yet report the accident and make your car worth less. So body shops, most of them will never report. The insurance companies always do, but guess who else does? That's amazing.
Who?
The police. Any accident out there that was reported, any accident. That's how our Santa Fe got on there. Our Santa Fe, it had nothing to do with the body shop or insurance company. It was the accident report that got ultimately onto Carfax from State Patrol or Douglas County, whoever it was. So, yes, all the municipalities, the cities, the states. Brent, did you know that? That's who reports to Carfax.
No, I did not know that.
You brought up something. Roger, here's your deal. Yours is too long. How long ago was it?
22 months.
Yeah, well, 22 months. You know what? Let's ask Compass Insurance. I want to know if you can open that up. Hold on a second. Hold on. I want to know if it's like homeowners. So just get Brian or Matt, somebody from Compass on. Brent, you were talking about a lease. Your car that you leased got into an accident, and it was someone else's fault.
No, it was my fault.
Oh, you're screwed.
Yep.
You don't get into accidents. I mean, that's simple.
No,
yeah,
it is. You're right.
And when you go to
diminish value when you're at fault.
And when you go to turn that vehicle in, have you turned it in yet?
No.
When you turn it in, do you know what's going to happen?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to cream you.
Yep.
So regardless if you stayed within the mileage, you stayed within anything, because you did not recoup anything for that diminished value, they're going to nail you. I mean, it could be thousands upon thousands upon thousands. Alberta has a follow-up question. The other thing with cars, though, real quick, Brent, and I want to tie this into loans in general.
Sure.
Another thing about buying a car, people think, I had someone just the other day I was helping buy a car. Literally just the other day. I forget the guy's name. I think it might have been Matt. Matt says to me, I've got 25 grand cash. I'm going to go ahead and take your word and get a Hyundai. I think he wanted a Tucson or a Santa Fe, whatever it was. He goes, but I want to just pay cash. I said, you're crazy to pay cash. The worst thing you can do in buying a car is walk in and say you want to pay cash. Because the credit unions pay these dealerships. A lot of times they'll make $1,800 up to $2,000 for high-risk stuff on a deal. So when they go to sell that paper to Security Federal or Security Federal Credit Union or Belco or whoever they're selling it to, if you tell them they're going to pay cash, you're already subtracting, like I would guess, over $1,000 that they count in the till. So the worst thing you can do is walk in and say you're paying cash. You walk in, you tell them, I want the best price and everything. They're not going to tell you not to pay cash. Then when you get into the closing guy in that little room where they try to sell you the mop and glow, and they try to sell you the aftermarket warranty, and they try to sell you the paint enhancer and everything else, you say, no, no, no. And by the way, here's a check. Thank you. And that's it. With homes, though, you're a direct lender.
Yes.
I deal, and this is a little behind the scenes. I want you to pull your skirt up, but I'm not going to look. Dan, you can look. Listen, you literally money out of your pocket. You're the owner. The money comes out of your pocket. So you qualify somebody. Stephanie, you go out and you find them a house, and when you use Ideal a lot, right?
Yep, I've referred clients over to Brent.
Yeah, so you go out, and you know this. This is a side note. When your client has a pre-approval from Brent, you know they're golden. You know they qualify and have the money.
Yes.
Okay, now, when Brent goes to closing and you find the person a house and go to closing, that's your money coming out, right?
Yep.
Now, eventually you sell that loan to somebody.
Yes, sell the servicing.
To the servicing, because you're not going to sit there and make sure people pay every month. That's a whole different part of this. Right. Servicing is a whole different thing. Yep. You're a direct lender, so you sell it to somebody like who? Give me an idea.
Oh,
any name.
14 different companies.
Okay, so you sell it to whomever.
Yeah.
Now, if that person, tell me if it's like the car business, if that person you just closed on pays their house off or their loan off within 90 days, my guess is you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they expect the first, what is it, 90?
It varies, but figure 6 months is the general rule of thumb. Some as short as 3 months. So 3 to 6 months.
So where I'm going is people that think cash is king is not true. Credit's king because everybody makes money off financing. It doesn't matter if it's a refrigerator at Sears. It doesn't matter if it's your MasterCard, your Visa, your Best Buy card. Why do you think they give you free crap when you walk into Nordstrom's to sign up for their credit card? How about when you're in Costco? Hey, we'll give you $100 today. Now, Costco's pretty good. Sam's Club will give you a free slice of pizza if you sign up for theirs. But my point is, the reason they give you free stuff is because everybody makes money off credit. If you learn anything today, never walk in to buy a car and say, I'm going to pay in cash, because you're an idiot. Alberta's got a question. Alberta, you want a follow-up from a year ago. I will try to spin the wheels.
Yes, sir.
What is the follow-up?
Well, I called you about a year ago because my husband passed away.
Okay.
And BC Service is telling me that I was responsible for his medical bills.
So your husband died. What was the medical bills? Was it from, like, what was it? I'm sorry. I don't care. That sounds horrible. I don't care. No, what my question is, though, how much are we talking?
Well, it's about, they already garnished my wages for about $1,000.
Wait, they've garnished your wages as of right now for your husband, your dead husband's hospital bills?
Yes, sir.
This doesn't sound possible. Hold tight. 303-713-8255. I have no idea how that can be possible, but we're going to find out. Everybody hold tight.
They're going to David Salisbury on. That's the state.
This report is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Maybe David Salisbury.
Tech Center Drive and southbound I-25 right now is a nightmare. There's a multi-vehicle crash southbound I-25 at Dry Creek that has...
And then kind of remind me to bring up the thing again.
Backing up almost to 225 at the...
The thing. What is that, Brad?
Brad. the call.
Oh, yeah, grab your statement and call.
Yeah. Okay. And then, Stephanie, you're doing a lottery to give away a free house, right?
Yeah.
They call today and today.
Call today. We got to be in the next hour.
Yeah. You have to show them with a signed contract in 5
Frank, are you
minutes.
going to fund the lottery? I'll facilitate.
Mark's gonna fund the lottery. Tom will fund the lottery.
Remember when Plumline was in here and the one guy needed something, and I said, well, it's your lucky day. Bob Logan's going to give it to you. His jaw dropped. Okay, hold on, guys. All right, Dr. Kent Lawson, the new orthodontics. Tom's kids go to these guys. So instead of, like, putting your kids in braces when they're 13 or 14, this guy, Dr. Kent Lawson, has come up with some stuff that is absolutely unbelievable. They start treating them, basically, the younger the better. Now, I'm not talking babies, but say 8, 9, 10 years old. And most likely, your kids are not going to need braces. I mean, he'll give you the full exam and let you know what to expect. But he has been creating beautiful smiles for years and years and years, in fact, well over 30. You know, he's an Invisalign provider as well if you do need braces. The other thing that's pretty amazing he can do is TMJ dysfunction. He's got over 5,000 cases that he's successfully treated of people with TMJ. So if you got young kids and you know braces are coming up, or possibly if they have braces now, or you have TMJ issues, call them now. 303-690-0100. 303-690-0100. Dr. Ken Lawson. You can always find him on referralist.com.
Small business owners sometimes go...
Follow-up question from years ago.
She had a question? Or...
I don't know. How in the hell can they be going after her for her husband's medical?
That's what I was going to ask you. So if you're the primary insured and I die, are you financially responsible for my bills if you're the primary insured? And I wondered if that's what happened to her.
Maybe.
No. But it's the state.
Okay.
No, I'd be responsible for exactly like this. If I was behind on the $1,000 a month for the
premium,
I think I'd be responsible for premiums. But would I be? I don't know.
Oh, would you be responsible for your
Salisbury.
kids' hospital bills if they died? Let's say
I need Salisbury.
Adeline was in an accident
Well, they're
and died.
they're under 18 though.
Yeah, right. So, but I just wondered.
Let's get Salisbury.
You think we need Salisbury?
Definitely need Salisbury.
I put a text into him.
Hey, should I call up lines? How are the lines?
They're fine.
Okay.
Why?
Oh, should I try to call?
He
this
runs
guy for
his mouth
Amco?
enough. People call in.
Should I call this Amco and see if we can get them on? I told them Friday, but
I don't know if that's a compliment or
I don't even listen to it. I'm Tom.
Tom.
I probably wouldn't do it right now. I think we should do it for Friday, especially since he called last Friday.
Yeah.
Or maybe tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see what the
Yeah, Valentine's.
Could work. This could work to your advantage. Tomorrow, she says, "What'd you give me for Valentine's Day?" Tell her, "Call Tom. Call me Tom."
I'm Tom.
Call Tom.
Yeah.
Call Tom.
You know, the full pre-approval like that, though, goes really and truly so far.
I don't have anything on 4.
I just negotiated a deal and won in multiple offers with a fully pre-approved buyer. I beat out a cash buyer with a full pre-approval. Part of that was my communication with the agent, but also...
Well, that's what I tell our guys. I'm like, look, when we got it pre-approved, get on the phone with the listing agent and talk. Talk to them.
All
Have
day
a
long.
conversation. Don't.
I have my lender call the agent every single time. I don't wait for the agent to call the lender.
Because, and then the other thing too is that we also, what we're starting to see too is that agents are starting to get wise to the fact that when they have these cash deals that show up, these people think they have you over a barrel, and so when you get into inspection, they go bonkers. I mean, they want every crazy thing fixed under the sun, and it's like, no.
You don't move on them.
Yeah.
And when you negotiate your contracts, what do? You say, hey, even if $15,000 worth of shit comes up, we don't even want to look at your offer.
Yeah, you know.
Unless you agree that you'll float with it. Right?
And the thing with cash is a lot of times too, they're like, I'm cash, so they try to lowball because I'm cash.
Good thing about cash is they can't hold you up forever in the home. But I mean,
honestly,
God, how many people pay cash for a home? It's very few.
Yeah, not a lot. More in the investor line.
My loan's at
but even that, a lot.
2.625, and there is no reason in the world I would pay mine off for that. But if I was even at 5 or something, I'd pay it off. No way, that's way too much interest.
Yeah. Loading.
All right, 303-713-8255. Roger got hit, and I'm saying this for Jeremy. He's with Compass Insurance. And, Jeremy, I'm saying this to get you a little caught up, but Roger got hit by a motorcycle a while back. He had like a 2012, 2013. In fact, let me lock it in. Roger, what kind of vehicle did you have again?
Dodge Ram pickup.
What year was it?
2012.
So he has a 2012 truck motorcycle. This nut comes slamming into the back of him, creates damage. This happened about 18 months ago. How much did they pay you so far, Roger? Did they pay for the repairs?
Yeah, they fixed the truck.
And it was the other insurance company, correct?
Yeah.
Jeremy, how far back can you go and do a supplemental, for example, diminished value after the fact? Because most insurance companies won't settle at diminished value until after the fact.
Yeah, it's there's no set time when you're dealing with the other insurance company.
Well, no, wait a minute. So you're saying if I got into an accident 5 years ago, someone could come back after me?
No. I'm saying the other way. So there's nothing contractual with the other insurance company. So
he's probably screwed.
I would make an effort to try and go after that diminished value. I mean, 18 months really isn't that long, but there's no real, some companies don't even pay diminished value.
The one...
if it's the other party's insurance.
They have to. If it's the other parties, they have to, man. I mean, if you have a real claim.
Right, but I'm saying the fight for it, there's nothing contractual.
Oh, no. No, but...
That's what I'm saying. There's no real time frame that I would say, I wouldn't even bother just because, he doesn't have a contract with them. If he thinks he has a good case, he should keep pursuing it.
Yeah, in other words, Roger, it doesn't hurt, but you have to have your ducks in a row. You've got to prove that your vehicle, because on the Carfax, so you're going to have a copy of the Carfax that shows the accident. On top of that, you're going to have something showing that your exact vehicle or something extremely similar with the same type mileage and everything on it is worth less, which isn't that hard. If you get the Carfax and you just go to a Dodge dealer like Colorado Springs Dodge in your circumstance, and talk to Jim Janicelli down there and say, hey, Jim, if I was going to trade this in right now, what would you give me for it if the Carfax was clean, and get something in writing? Now that the Carfax isn't clean, here's a copy of the Carfax. How much would you give me for it? And he'll be honest with you. It could be $1,000, it could be $2,000, it could be $100, it could be $0. I don't know, because everything's different. Jeremy, I want to say this. The one I just went through was with American Family. They actually have an entire division now that deals with diminished value. Do most insurance companies have that now?
Yeah, you know, with the advent of Carfax and really being able to pinpoint kind of what you just described, being able to pinpoint what that diminished value claim is, it's so much more common now that companies, you know, are better equipped to be able to deal with it, I guess.
Yeah, so, I mean, really what happened is they came at me, and I already knew where AmFam was going to come from, because I got on and I said, basically I Googled, how does American Family or other insurance companies value diminished value? How do they come up with it? And a lot of the stuff I read about insurance companies, you know, they basically have an equation they start with. Well, if you look at that equation, it's like most things, it's phony baloney. It's a lot less. They're looking out for themselves, which they should do. It's an insurance company. Their employees should look out for them. But I was the victim. I should look out for me. So I came up with my own way to value it, and they accepted mine. So it turned out good.
Yeah, the more legwork you can put into that, I mean, they're relying, every company is relying on, they throw out an offer, you go, yep, that sounds right, take it and go. So if you put some work into it and really kind of come up with what you think, like what you did, a lot of times they're going to pay that.
Roger, bottom line for you is you can reach out to that insurance company again, have the Carfax, have some ammunition. Maybe you get a few $100, maybe you get $1,000. Maybe they're going to make you fight them, and in that case, I'd say it's not worth it at all. At all. And I would tell you to take the owner of that motorcycle that hit you to small claims court, but the problem is when you settled that accident with that other insurance company, you agreed not to sue them. Correct, Jeremy?
Yeah, typically that's going to, I mean, it's hard to say specifically, but typically that's going to be in that agreement.
Hey, Jeremy, hold on for a second. So Roger, I hope we helped you out. One line open, 303-713-8255. I'll tell you how egregious insurance companies can be. Jeremy, do you remember when my Sonata was totaled probably about 2 years ago? The first offer, I think it was Safeco, it might have been Liberty.
I remember this. Yeah, it was Safeco.
The first offer the other insurance company gave me, you ready for this, Brent? $16,000. You know what I ended up getting for that car? When I say totaled it, man, how we even walked away was incredible.
What'd you get?
$24,000. Now, tell me that's not unfair. Tell me who they're looking out for.
Yeah, themselves.
You know how many people they roll over and okey-doke all the time? I guarantee it. How many people fight like that, though? Honestly, Jeremy, how many people fight like that? I know you guys, because I use you. You guys started that fight for me. I got in there and got all the information and stuff, but because I've got a great broker like Compass Insurance, you guys fight for me. But how many times do people just accept what they say?
You know, the majority of times they do. And yours was a crazy example. I mean, they're not usually that far off. But, yeah, to your point, most times people, they just don't understand the process.
And not only don't they understand it, here's another thing people don't understand. When that happened to us, we just left Sam's Club. We had about $400 in groceries go bad. You know, I'm not talking hard goods, but I'm talking like meat, cheese, milk, blah, blah, blah. Suzanne's glasses were broke. My glasses were broke when the airbags came out. There was all kinds of other things that a lot of people don't think about, and I assure everybody listening, there's not one damn insurance company out there that's going to give you this information. That's why you need somebody like Compass. And by the way, Compass if you want to shop your insurance, if you got State Farm, if you've got Allstate, if you've got anybody with what we call a captive audience, I swear to God, if you call them right now, they can save you a lot of money. Not in every case, but in a ton of cases, just send them your declarations. It doesn't cost you anything, and you'll also get team members that'll fight for you when you do need it, so you don't have to battle the insurance companies. 303-996-9000. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Mark.
303-996-9000. It drives me insane. It really does. Insurance companies. I will say this for American Family. This last deal I was with, they did pretty good on. I appreciate them coming through. Rob's got an issue with home financing. Brent, I want to ask you this, though, just like we just did with Compass. I said, fax over your declaration page. I want you to do a challenge for me. Anybody listening that's been in a mortgage for a while, I want you to call Ideal. I want your guys to look at it. I don't want any phony baloney, and I know you guys don't do this, but salespeople are salespeople. The bottom line is, look at their circumstance. If they have high credit card debt, what can you do? If they're in a good product, what can you do? But here's something that's funny. The people that have used you in the last 5 or 6 months, interest rates were at about 5 1/4. Now they're down over 3/4.
Yeah.
What would you do for all those people right now?
So we will refinance their existing loan with no lender fees.
So listen to what Brent just said. If you refied or bought a new house or did whatever at around 5, 5 1/4, now that we're down to the low 4s, if it's more than 3/4 of a point and you used Ideal, they will refi you for free right now. That's it. There's nothing else I can say. That's the kind of stuff these referral list members do. So call up. Call them right now. See if there's something better for you. It's not always interest rate driven, and I mean that. If your cash flow's better, one of the best things Suzanne and I have done in the last 3 or 4 years, we went from a 30 to a 15 and made a good down payment. When you see the money we saved on our house, it is incredible.
It's 6 figures in payments and interest.
Oh, my God. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest we just saved. But we've got the cash flow now. If we didn't have the cash flow, maybe you're in a 15 and your cash flow sucks and you need to go back to a 30. These guys will look at it all for you. And there's nothing. How long does it usually take from the phone ringing and the conversation?
Oh, it's 15 minutes on the phone. We can take a look at it, even sooner than that, depending on how much of your information you have readily available.
All right, 303-867-7000. That's Ideal Home Loans. His guys are over there standing by, and report back to us. I want to know. I do want to know. 303-867-7000. All right, Samantha's got a problem with the dealership. Taking business owner to small claims court. Boy, I've done that a lot. Man, have I done that a lot. I am the king of small claims court. Rob has got troubles with home financing. Brent, hopefully you can help out with that. And Alberta, I promise I'll get back to you first. She's got a follow-up to some medical bills. Alberta, the reason you're holding is we're trying to get through to David Salisbury, and hopefully we can do that. So everybody hold tight. I'm Mark Major. This is the Troubleshooter Network.
I have a question on the refinance for free, Brent.
Yeah.
So they say that they did a 5 1/4 for a 30.
Okay.
And they go down to a 15, which would even drop it more. Would you still do that?
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll waive our lender fees. You're still going to have escrows and all that stuff and title work because we can't get out of that.
But that's not you guys.
Yeah, no, it's not us. But yeah.
Okay.
And what we even do is we send an email out to everybody. We'll run an analytics on our pipeline, and we'll send an email out to people and say, hey, you qualify for this call.
Yeah. I'll bring her up and tell her that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
We're at 4 1/4, I think. But we're 27 years in, a little under 27 years in.
Oh, well, you're almost paid off then.
No, little under, we've got about that left, a little under 27 left on a 30. But I know our value has run out.
Would you go to 15?
Depends on.
Hold on, guys. All right, the Raleigh. Well, we're all good. Okay, so the Raleigh house. Listen, individual treatment plans. And I mean this. Most people know someone that has some form of addiction problem. And that's what these guys do. Their facilities are all around Denver Metro. There's one out in Watkins that's absolutely beautiful. But these guys do individual plans. It's real treatment. It's medically based. They do nutrition, of course, the blood work, the supplements. They do individual therapy, group therapy, environmental therapy. They're really good. I get a little choked up thinking about these guys. We went out there and I met a lot of people that are suffering with addiction out in their Watkins facility not long ago. And these people really do want to change their lives. Some got into addiction for financial reasons, family reasons, marriage problems, all reasons. But this line they developed, if you know someone and you want to get through to them, call it. 720-963-9201. 720-963-9201. The Raleigh House. I know, it's over. If you're on the boom sauce.
You're just waiting for the safe injection sites.
So we flew out there. So there's nothing like, people are bizarre. I get it, but they're bizarre. When someone lands a helicopter, people come. But they keep coming. You go, hey, that thing up there can cut your fucking head off. People just like, they clamor. It's the oddest thing you've ever seen. I don't think I would.
I don't think I'd get in the radius.
He landed out during that solar eclipse out by wherever it was.
That's where Clint came up.
And is that where he met Clint?
Yeah.
And he said all these golf carts, there must be a bunch of retirees out there. He goes, it was like hundreds of golf carts, and they just kept coming up, and the blade's still going. You're like, get back, get back. It's bizarre. I wonder how often people get their heads cut off by that shit.
No, it's still pretty high.
It's probably the tail.
Unless they're the tail, right? Unless they're on a slant.
You're an engineer.
The head will come off first.
Yes. Head versus helicopter blade. Helicopter wins.
Every time.
Every time.
Like I got a friend of mine who's a fireman. We have a bunch of buddies that road bike, and he's like, "Look, I can tell you with absolute certainty, you will never win against the car ever." Because you guys riding around on the street, there's bike paths everywhere. Get on a bike path. It just drives them crazy.
I think it's crazy too. In Franktown, they're everywhere.
Oh yeah, he's like.
They wear the funny helmets and the stupid shorts, the whole bit.
But the shorts are very protective.
Why is that? Why do they look like clowns? When I go swimming, no, seriously, when I go swimming, I don't put on something Michael Phelps is going to wear. I don't have the hat on.
That's a good question.
I get a neighbor of mine that I mountain bike with, and then he road bikes, and every time he leaves in his road bike and stuff, I just crucify him. I'm like, look at you with your tights on, you're stupid. So dumb.
Yeah, you should ask him, what is the difference if you wore a little baggier once, a little wind resistance?
I hate when they have attitudes. Like, they think they own the road.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
It's
a lot of
bad
them,
out by us, too.
they use bike locks. They use their bike locks if the car gets too close.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd like to see how that ends.
I don't know how that ends.
You get the wrong guy,
Yeah.
and that's not going to end real well.
And if you talk to bikers, they're kind of like smokers. Smokers never throw I'd never throw my butts out there.
Yeah, right.
Or bikers never run the stop. I never run stop signs.
We had cameras in my Goodyear. I think maybe you saw my last one that I saw.
Yeah.
Right across the street's like the Hellhole Motel. In fact, some woman jumped off there. It's only 4 stories. She committed suicide off of it. So I'd find a taller building just in case, man. Just in case I end up in a wheelchair. But she got the job done. But I'd wake up or show up to work sometimes. There'd be cigarette butts. Like people came over and dumped out their entire ashtrays. Yeah. So finally I put cameras up. It was a damn employee that worked there. All right, 303-713-8255, the only number you need. Keep that number, 303-MARTINO, 303-MARTINO. Anytime you need help, don't forget live at Troubleshooter.com. We have great conversations. Well, some people might not think they're great, depending. I probably get more criticism over what I say off the air during the live show, if you will, on Facebook and YouTube. But we were talking about bicycles. I forget how it came up, but I don't understand. Where we live, there's a bunch of these guys on Sundays and gals that drive around on these bikes. But why, for the life of me, I understand helmets. Everybody wears them. But why the weird helmets? It's not like they're in a race. And then why the stupid shorts and stuff? And I mean that. When I go swimming, I don't put on what Michael Phelps would wear. I don't put on the cap. I don't put in this. And like Brent said, your neighbor's one of these wackos.
He does, when he rode bikes, he dresses differently than when he mountain bikes. Yes.
Why though? Why do they put the whole getup on?
I think it has to do with you're riding a much longer distance, and so
the tight shorts help.
Dynamics, the tights, I don't know. I'll ask him.
Yeah, you ask him. See if he'll come on and explain.
I don't think he'll come on and explain.
Mark, there's padding in those shorts to keep them comfy.
Yeah,
just so you know, you've never put those shorts on, but they have padding.
Ooh, that's a Valentine's idea right there.
Well, I appreciate your input, Betty. 303-713-8255. All right, let's finish up with Alberta real quick, then we'll go to Rob with the financing issue. Alberta, so a year ago your husband passed away, and did the company get a judgment, and what company got the judgment? And I assume they did if they're garnishing your pay.
Yes, they got a garnishment through, and they I already paid one bill off, and so
was it for premiums? What was it for?
It was for Kaiser.
We tried to get David Salisbury on because I just have to look at what you're paying. The fact that someone actually took you to court and got the garnishment is pretty big. Most likely, right. Did you show up in court, or did you show up?
No, I didn't. They just said that, no.
Wait a minute. So they got a judgment, they got a default judgment, and then they started garnishing. You didn't even show up in court.
They didn't have the court date on the paperwork.
Well, okay, but they got the garnishment, so they must have got the judgment. Or you simply don't know.
I simply don't know.
Okay, well then here's what we need. Send me over what information you have. That's what we need. We'll get Daphne, maybe tomorrow, to get on the phone with you and call up whoever you're dealing with on the other side, because we're going to need your permission, to figure out what it's for. What I don't understand is if your husband's medical bills, man, were you the Here's what I have a question for David. If she's a responsible party, how does that work? Was it his insurance or yours? Who had Kaiser?
I did.
So, okay.
I had Kaiser, but see, you know, along the way when my husband passed away, I ran into a wall where I found out him and I weren't even legally married.
So but it doesn't matter if you guys if you were even common law married. There's what's the relevance?
Well, they said the reason why I'm responsible for his bills is because we were common law and I paid for his health insurance.
Yeah, but he's dead. That's the part I don't understand about this. If he racked up medical bills, I need to understand this from David. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have you back on tomorrow with David Salisbury, and we're going to figure this out. But in the meantime, you're going to email your information to help@troubleshooter.com. After the show, I want to look at it. Do you have a copy of the judgment?
I do not.
It's easy to get through to Kaiser. What we need to do, in fact, Deputy Dan, I don't want to wait for Daft to be back tomorrow. After the show, I want you to call up this woman and then call up Kaiser and just figure out what's going on, okay?
Yeah. Well, I'm not 100% it was Kaiser either.
Well, okay, now I need information. Alberta, I'm not going to sit here and if you don't know answers, I got to have something. So I got to know who to call. I got to know who had the judgment. I got to know what the judgment was for. These are things you have to provide for me.
Yes, it was BC Service who had the judgment.
Okay, hold tight. So a collection agency has the judgment, right?
Right.
All right, hold tight.
Yes.
Hold tight. I need information, though. Hold tight. Dan, do you know where to even start with this? Yeah. You got your marching orders, sir.
Okay, I'll march.
All right, 303-713-8255. All right, Rob, what's going on with you?
Are you there?
Yes, Rob, please, go ahead.
Okay, me and my wife are looking at buying a house.
My wife and I.
Wife and I, thank you. And
I said that because my mother used to say that to me. It would drive me insane, so I was just saying that, but go ahead.
So, you know, we go through the normal process, call a mortgage company, get the pre-approval before we can go looking at homes and, you know, figure out where we're at price-wise and things of that nature. So we get a hold of a mortgage company. They tell us, you know, we're going to be in the the high 5 range on our interest rate. Well, we think that's kind of high, so we decide we're going to shop around. We go ahead, shop around. They tell us we're going to be in the high 4s, low 5s. Sounds good. We go ahead and get our pre-approval letter. We go find a house. We get our contract all written up. Everybody agrees on everything, so we're under contract on a home at this point. So now we get a hold of the mortgage company. We say, okay, we need to see, a good faith estimate. What's this going to cost us at closing? What's our interest rate? All of a sudden they come back at 4.7 or 5.75 on the interest rate and $11,000 in closing costs when originally it was going to be around 5. So we bounce back to the other lender, and they come back basically around the same. So, we're kind of, now we're under contract. We feel like they're tightening the screws on us, and the stress is starting to hit.
Brent, what do you think?
Well, what was the explanation for the increase in the change? I mean, that seems pretty significant. Was it a credit score issue? Was it some kind of a qualifying issue? What was their reasoning behind that?
Income went down?
No, income didn't go down. Credit is not that great. And initially when we went into this, we gave them our credit scores. They pulled our credit scores, and they matched from what we thought that they were and everything. And that's when they gave us their initial verbal text message, guesstimate, I guess you would say.
Okay.
So now all of a sudden we're sitting here. We're supposed to close within, the next 28 days at this point. And now we're feeling like, oh my gosh, because...
Well, let's ask some reality questions here. First of all, Brent, what rate are they quoting this very second to you?
Right now, and of course, they haven't... The one mortgage company won't give us anything in writing. They're saying we need to get locked in before they'll give us an actual quote. The other one's saying, well, when you get that quote from them, send it back to us.
Yeah, but you said you were in a contract with these guys. What's the contract say?
He's under contract on the property.
Oh, just under the property.
So, yeah, I mean, they should, if you apply, they're required within 3 days, if they have 6 key pieces of information, which you're going to have to give them if you've got a property address and everything else, they're required in 3 days to disclose the terms of a loan on a loan estimate, and they're going to be bound to that. So, I mean, are you locked in with these guys now? I mean, can you shop it?
We are not locked in, but the one mortgage company that's kind of real nice folks and everything, but now she's saying we have to lock you in. The interest rates are going to go up.
How much? She's not telling you.
She hasn't told us.
Well, then what? Okay, let's make this simple.
They ought to be able to tell you that before.
Why don't you just call over to Ideal? Why don't you just call them right now and see what they can do? I mean, how long? Here's a perfect example of what I'm saying. How long, if he calls over now, would it take for you guys to say, here's probably what we can do for you?
We're going to need to look at a credit report.
Yep.
So we could get all your information over the phone, pull a credit report, run it through automated underwriting, and we could tell you within, an hour.
Why don't you do that? Why are you dealing with this company you're having issues with that won't tell you what rate? They're saying we've got to lock you in. Why? Why are you... It sounds so weird.
Yeah, it seems fishy to us, too. And now that we have this contract on the home, we're really worried that we're not going to get this taken care of.
Yeah, you could get screwed big time.
Advertising your earnest money.
You guys, if the credit's good and the income's good, you can get them closed in 30, right?
Yeah.
Just, would you do me this, Rob? Just call over there. It's not going to hurt. You're not getting into some agreement or anything. They're going to tell you what they can do for you.
Perfect.
I mean, and I'm sorry. I feel like I'm almost whining at this point. I don't understand whether this was a mortgage company you're dealing with or a car dealer or anything. They're irritating you enough. Why are you even dealing with them? They just sound weird.
I guess, the point that we're under contract and we're under the gun to get this thing.
That's a good answer. You were afraid. That's it. It's time. But there is extension. Stephanie Thomas. There's extensions. If this was your client and they're getting ready to close, probably in that contract somewhere, there is an extension.
There is an extension. We do have to get both parties to sign off on that.
Yeah, and if it's only going to be a few days, who would care?
We can work those details out.
They're banking on him coming through. They're not going to start all over.
To sell the house to him.
Unless if they're selling that house for such a price that they have a line coming out of the door, it's not going to be an issue. Call them right now. Listen, man, Rob, 303-867-7000. We've got another hour to go. Would you do me a favor and call me back?
Yes.
Let me know how it goes. 303-867-7000. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
All right, 303-713-8255. Ed has a question on buying a new house. We'll ask Stephanie about that. And, Stephanie, I want to ask you this. I'll do it after the break. But if someone's looking at a brand new house, like a Lennar home or a KBH or whatever they have out there, should they use a realtor? And if so, why? 303-713-8255.
And I don't know how they could. They didn't get them pre-approved. They pre-qualified them.
That's the difference.
That's the difference.
Well, then when we come back, let's say that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? A lot of people don't understand the difference.
No,
I can give you a fucking pre-approval, right?
No, but that is.
Or no, what's pre-qualified means ready to go.
Well, no, pre-approved means ready to go.
Pre-approved,
pre-qualified, and pre-approved.
That's what I'm saying. I could pre-qualify.
Yeah, pre-qualified. Pre-approved is ready to go.
But here's a big one: if you give someone a pre-approval and it's your client.
Yeah.
And they fucking quit their job the next day, there's nothing you can do. The pre-approval's gone.
That's the borrower.
How often does this happen? You go to close right before you pull that last credit report and they bought a car. Does this shit happen?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you warn them not to, right? And then you go, what the hell happened?
Yeah. We do, because we have to pull a final trade update. And they can't be any sooner than
what?
foreclosure.
Are you going to work it in? Who is it?
Yeah, you can't. You can't change your credit situation. That's something you guys say every single time.
We tell them, we send out email after document. Just don't go opening. All the time. Yeah, no, that's right. Absolutely.
An entire short list of
I'm going to want this 30 I'm going to do. I'm going to do something a little different on it. I'm teasing my spot. I'm teasing the spot, bro.
Oh, no, that Alberta, what it is.
What is it?
Yeah.
She claimed they were married, but they weren't. On her, and they're
but
saying,
he's dead. That's the part I don't understand.
He was on her insurance when she would claim that they were married.
Okay, watch out, guys. I got to do this. God, this is hard to get used to. All right, listen to this. FixMyHome.com. 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 Why am I saying this? Because I want you to remember, when you need someone to fix your home, for $39, you can get a licensed, insured background check, HVAC tech, or licensed plumber to your house. $39. They'll give you a write-up. They'll tell you exactly what's going on and exactly how much it costs. FixMyHome.com. FixMyHome.com.
I think that's the other thing, Mark, too. Stephanie and I were just talking about this. We have so many people that call and they don't tell us the whole truth. And then all of a sudden we get into the middle of a transaction and it all comes out. It's like, hey, just dump the pieces of the puzzle on the table and let us go to work for you to help you. You know, we run into situations where, oh yeah, hey, we've got this money, it's on hand, no problem. And then we get down the road and we're like, okay, well, where's the money? Well, I'm going to sell this other property. You're like, well, wait a minute, that's not the same thing. Yeah, that's not, and so
how do people look at? I'm going to bring this up on air too. How do they look at gift money these days?
Gift money's fine.
They could care less. Do they still have to have a note saying like,
we still have to
owe it?
Yeah, we still have to.
It's painful.
There's a gift letter that they have to sign, and we have to verify that the gifting party has the funds and the availability.
How about if it's just money in a checking account now? Does it even matter? In other words, when
they've got it on hand for 60 days, we're fine.
Oh, so it's 60 days.
It's got to be seasoned. Seasoned money.
When I did a family member's deal and gave part of my commission back to offset some of their costs, the lender actually put me through the ringer and made me show gift funds. And I'm going, I just took a commission reduction, to offset, a deal for my sister.
But they still looked at it as a qualification.
I had to go through.
They just want to make sure they don't know you haven't become a creditor.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Yeah. Well, the thing with me though is it wasn't where money was changing hands. I took a reduction.
Well, you should have been able to write a letter that says, "Here's the deal."
Yeah. Well, it was just a commission reduction.
Yeah. Giving part of my commission to.
I did that to offset, and then the seller concessions to the buyer. All of that, and how we worked it out to essentially help a family member get in a property. But
see, we're at the show. We never get two sides of the story. Everybody has the same side.
Yeah.
For sure. No, right. We right.
Can you come back with some monkeys?
I can't believe that
if you can, it's cool.
Think that's
But you know, Mark, what Brent and I were talking about is it's not always a no when you do tell the lender things.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a deal where my client was in a spot where they needed a little more room, and we talked to him, you know, to talk to the lender about refining the car, and it was a let's do the car refinance. It dropped the payment enough that it offset, and it was all good. But you have to communicate it. If you don't communicate it, it's a cluster, and then it's, you know, a sinking ship at that point. So.
Well, thank God for earnest money if you're the seller.
But that's hard to get too, isn't it? Earnest money?
Not if you're real estate.
Yeah, there's a loan termination, and it's written in the sole discretion of the buyer if the buyer's not happy with the loan term.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, but you can modify that.
You'd have to remove it from the contract, but as the seller or as the buyer, it's in the contract.
When I did mine, I told the guy 30 days. I put like 150 down, but I lowballed the shit out of him, Dan. I mean hundreds of thousands. And I basically told him, here's 150,000. If I don't close in 30 days, you can fucking keep the money.
You made your earnest money non-refundable?
I made him a deal that he couldn't refuse unless, although he him and hawed afterwards.
But he wanted to sell it too.
Sure.
He did, but I think if he could have went back, he wouldn't have signed it.
But he did.
But I had everybody. I already did everything. I had plumb line out there. They ripped through all the electric, all the HVAC, the water. I had Excel roofing out. I had everybody rip through that house.
I just had Excel on a property for a client this week.
Hey, who's this? Is this the Monkees? You know, I love the Monkees. One of the best bands ever. If you're new to the show, you'll find out that in 1967, yes, the great year of 1967, although I was not born, Deputy Dan was probably in his late 30s, 40s, but the Monkees outsold the Beatles and the Rolling Stones in 1967. It's a fun fact. You can fact check it all day long. It's real. It's true. Another fun fact about the Monkees real quick. Davy Jones happened to be on the Ed Sullivan Show the day the Beatles debuted on it. Did you know that, Deputy Dan?
I did, because I listened to the show.
Ah, okay. Now, I'm wondering, our theme song, I got to talk to Tom about this, but currently, as you will hear next hour, our theme song is a Beatles song.
Can you imagine coming back with Hey Hey with the Monkees, all of us?
Oh, well, maybe it
Bad
isn't
idea, Mark.
Maybe it's not a good theme song. All right, 303-713-8255. Samantha, what's going on with the dealership?
Hey, hi. Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What dealership is it?
Good. So this is Unlimited Motors, LLC.
And where are they?
They are 1365 South Broadway.
Okay, Unlimited Motors. I'm pulling them up. What happened? Did you buy a vehicle?
So let me tell you, my passion first is business accountability and consumer protection. So it's not my personal vehicle,
yes,
but word of mouth. When you get screwed over, you talk about it. So I ran into the most recent customer that was affected and taken advantage of.
Why? What's your dog in the fight? I must know that now. What is it? Just a good friend of yours?
Well, I actually work for Kaiser Permanente, which is ironic because it's a young lady before me.
Yes.
But that's my day job. But my take is I'm tired of seeing companies...
no, listen, answer this in one sentence, though. What's your dog in the fight? You didn't go out there and do research on some random dealership to call up a radio show. So literally, what is your dog in the fight? It's not, I don't even care what it is. I just want to know.
Like I said, this customer came to me just word of mouth.
Got it.
And I said, you know what? I'm tired of seeing businesses like this, so let's go.
Well, that's cool. So what did they do to this person?
So this particular customer went in, there was a check engine light. He had purchased a vehicle, of course, and then as soon as he left the lot, check engine light came on, took the car back, and the company... He couldn't pass emissions, okay?
But they bought it and the car couldn't pass emissions. Yay or nay? Quick.
Right. Yes,
okay, hold tight. That's a big one. We might have a cool loophole here. 303-713-8255. We have that and a lot more coming up right after these very few, very short, very good messages.
So she was just a do-gooder with this person she heard the problem.
She wouldn't answer the question, so it's either her or it's a relative or somebody. I mean, I doubt someone walked into her job at Kaiser complaining, although maybe they did. I mean, maybe they did.
I will search her.
I want you to call them up. Call them up and call them right now, Dan. Say, listen, I have no idea why I'm calling you. I have no idea who this is. I have no idea who the customer is. But will you come on the air and talk to us? I can't wait to see what happens with the emissions, though. Yeah. It's one of the only reasons you can get a used car back.
But they have the choice of fixing it, too.
Well, yeah, which is fine. Why would you care if they fix it?
Right. Okay, you might have
we'll fix it. We'll take that light right out of there, sir.
You might switch it over. Sorry.
Oh! My sister's gonna probably be visiting this weekend.
Yeah?
And I'm like, I have this expensive bottle of Killer's wine we're gonna share.
Oh,
looking forward to opening. I've had it for 6 months.
Did they get back on the road?
I think so, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. How's she doing? How's the baby?
Good.
Crying 24/7.
Cries in the car the whole time. It's really, and they're moving to Kansas. They're going to be 6 hours driving time from here. So they're on their way there. They're going to be in a hotel for a week. So they figured, screw it. We have a 3-day weekend. They'll just come out and see us.
We have a 3-day weekend?
This weekend, yeah. It's my birthday weekend.
Wait a minute. This is President's Day?
Yeah, coming up.
Holy shit.
Oh, you probably need to get a best of going.
Oh, man, we were doing the best of. I got it. I've got to get these to me today.
Yeah. Monday's no show.
Text him when you get back in there. Say,
to text Tommy?
Yes, say President Day's Mondays. Mark's got to have those tonight.
Okay. I've got you. I like you colored your hair.
Oh,
I like it.
God.
I don't know that I noticed it when I saw you a couple weeks ago for last week.
It's just the ombre.
I'm going to end up running all 4 of his. I won't be able to do Price Fixer. No way. Because I'm not doing it till Friday. Damn it. I thought President's Day was a week.
Yeah, it's Monday. Yeah, the kids' birthdays are...
Is school off, everything?
Ooh, I don't know.
Banking?
I looked at that. Maybe.
Denver teacher strike. It's 3rd day.
Mm-hmm.
What does the average DPS teacher make, I wonder?
I don't know.
Is there scabs working? Do you guys know? I don't know.
What I heard is they took all the administrators and they're running classes, but they're running like, where you normally have a class size of 25, they got like 100. And they're doing them
I saw some like rioting in the hallway.
So the kids are going to school.
Like
yeah. I'm surprised Polis didn't step in and say, "Hey, look, we're gonna defer this until after the school year."
I'm glad he didn't because that would look weird. I think, he's a Democrat. Most teachers, of course, in the teachers union, and especially
are Democrats.
They're all Democrats. It's just not gonna. He's gonna look anti his own party.
Well, that's
yes, no school on Monday.
I had no idea Monday was Christmas.
Oh, my kids don't have school on the 19th either.
Yeah, ours are out Friday and Monday.
Yeah, mine don't have it Monday or Tuesday.
Chores at home. Here's what we got to get done.
Oh, my
She will
children.
listen, but she doesn't want to be on the radio from Unlimited Motors.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. I wonder why they don't want to be on the radio. Did you tell them how congenial I am? My middle name.
Not what I would have thought you were going to say.
Not that word?
Not that word.
Congenial.
Miss Congeniality?
I miss congeniality.
So call Noxitril now and take advantage of an incredible free bottle offer. Shipped discreetly to your door.
Can't wait for your wife to get you your riding tights for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Awesome. You need the full bib.
There's a bib?
Well, so here's the thing. My CFO did the Leadville 100, and he went and got the bibs, and he said the bibs are way more comfortable than the baggy mountain biking shorts.
Oh, they're the overalls.
The whole, like the bibs.
They're overalls.
They're like, whatever you want to call
So
them.
you've got not only a neighbor that's...
My CFO, though, they're expensive. Like, the bibs are like $300.
Oh, geez.
Whoa!
But if you finish in a certain amount of time, you get this belt buckle. It's a big deal. Like, not very few people do it, and he pulled it off.
I wonder if anybody's ever hopped in a Jeep and get out at the end.
Is that a run or is that?
Well, that's also a run, but there's a mountain bike race too.
Okay.
That Bill 100.
They wouldn't wear that for a mountain bike, would they?
Oh yeah, he wore the bibs for the mountain bike.
Huh.
And they got to do it 24 hours, right?
He had to finish in under 9 to get the belt.
Oh, right. Okay.
So he wore the bibs for the mountain bike. Did most people?
Yeah, I said a lot of people, and he did a pre-race back in Minnesota where his brother lives, and he showed up and his brother had the bibs, and he's like, "What's with the bibs? Like, we're not wearing the bibs." He's like, "I'm telling you, you're going to get 25 miles or 30 miles into this, you're going to wish you had the bibs on."
When did he finish transgendering?
I don't know. You want to call the office and ask him, put him on the air?
What do the bibs do?
They're just supposedly more padding, more comfort, not as much. They don't move around, and they stay in one place, so there's no rubbing or chafing, if you will.
I picture a woman in a one-piece swimsuit. I mean, that's basically what it is.
It looks like, you talk about like when Michael Phelps wears the deal, that's what they kind of look like.
Oh, yeah.
Same type of deal.
You go on a marathon and people that don't have they're bleeding.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh, from the rub?
Yeah. I mean, it's like this. Unless they put Vaseline
You're
on
saying
it,
everyone. No exception.
Well,
even people without nipples.
That's a possibility. Or they have to, or if they have 3. They have 3 nipples.
Suzanne knew a girl with 3 nipples.
She was popular?
That was in Oklahoma. It was pretty normal. It was in Coweta. One family. I always said, geez, you'd think they'd get that fixed. It can't be a huge thing, but...
Did you ever get that spin bike you were talking about?
No. Nah, I'm sticking with the treadmill.
SimplyFloorsInc.com.
I like the app, though. I have the app. I don't have their bike. I just have the normal bike. But I like their app. And take their classes.
It's cool.
Yeah.
The bike where you see a watch video.
Well, it's not a bit. You can do live ones.
Yeah, you can do like live classes with them. I didn't buy the bike. That's too cheap for that.
The bottom when it comes to price, just what you want. SimplyFloorsInc.com to make your own appointment. That's SimplyFloorsInc.com. 2019 is here, and rates are still in the low.
What was the guy's name that called that was under contract?
Is continuing to
Text me.
Rob.
Families moving in than out annually. The Feds continue to raise short-term rates, like auto loans, credit cards.
Loan modification gone wrong. Welcome to the real world.
Others are doing much needed home
They paid out, Wells Fargo paid out a lot of money. The one that went away was
some are just putting money away for that rainy day.
Liberty. What was the one that had, they were yellow. I can picture yellow. We had a mortgage with them at one point. They're one of the largest mortgage servicers in the country.
Yes.
They had bank branches. They had everything. Damn it, who the hell was that? They paid record fines, but they're gone. They're out of business.
Oh, you're thinking of
Not Line Financial. Say it.
It's on the tip of my
They had literally, Castle Rock had a branch. They had branches. They did banking, but their big thing was loans. They got in a lot of trouble. I almost said it. I keep wanting to say Liberty Mutual, but of course it's not. Welcome to the show, the only show of its kind. We're here to solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, get directly involved, try to help you out, try to recover money for you. Tom has recovered, listen to this, almost 200 or over, in my opinion over. Do we actually track every nickel? No. But over $200 million in cash merchandise, exchanges, refunds. Think about this. This is more than most law firms will ever recover. And I'm not talking these mega law firms that sue the tobacco industries, but this is more than most law firms will ever recover, and it's a free service if you've been ripped off, taken advantage of, or just need help. For example, I love helping buying cars. If you're buying a new car, and no, I don't have any allegiance to any dealership. Right now, I love McDonald Hyundai. I always buy Hyundais. I love McDonald right now. A year ago, I liked Shortline. Shortline is now Shop, and now they have this one price deal. Well, in my opinion, I don't care who you are out there, one price means we're going to take it, we're going to stick it to you. That's my opinion. I don't like one price shopping on anything when it comes to large ticket items. I like being able to shop around. If Best Buy has the exact refrigerator that Sears has, well, Sears is a horrible example, that Costco has, same exact one, I'm going to buy from the better company, the better price. Same with cars, in my opinion. These one-price dealerships drive me insane. In fact, I think a lot of people, they drive insane, and I will make a prediction. They're going to go away. And that includes CarMax. I guess, okay, chime in here, Brent Ivinson. Chime in, Stephanie Thomas. Do you think one-price shopping appeals to people? And I promise I'll get right to the phone. I'm going back to that dealership, Samantha. Does one price...
I think in the automotive arena, yes, because most people are not like you or like me. They don't enjoy that. They hate it. They hate it.
They don't like the walkout. I'll walk out.
They don't like the walkout. They don't like the grind. They don't like the back and forth.
They don't like trying to get pressured into the mop and glow and the extended warranty.
So what they look at is they say, you know what? This is going to be a good deal for me. It'll be fair. It's not the cheapest deal, but it's also not the most expensive. I'll take it, and I don't have to deal with it.
You know, you're right. There is a certain... You know what? I'll tell you this. Okay, I'll say this. There's people that might go to shop and buy a Hyundai and spend $7,000 more, okay? But there's other dealerships out there that aren't one-price shopping that same person might go to and end up spending even more.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're absolutely right. And they might walk out of there. At least Shop's got a good name behind it, or at least a longevity name. I don't recall any real big issues with them, but they're going to be there. So, okay, you know what? I'll give that to you. I'll give it to you.
There you go.
I hate doing that, but I'll do it. All right, Samantha, so you go to this dealership, or you didn't. You're calling on behalf of some other people, for that matter, or one particular, Unlimited Motors. Just so you know, Samantha, Deputy Dan, I had him call over there during the break, and they're listening right now. So let's talk about them.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. So what I have as far as complaints, right?
Yes.
Is that the car is purchased, vehicle, whatever you want to call it, is purchased, and it has a check engine light that pops on.
What day was it purchased? What day roughly?
I believe the 28th, 28th or 29th, January 30th.
So on January 30th, so it was just purchased.
Yeah, just recently.
So, okay, so on January 30th, this vehicle was purchased. Hold on. Now, when
128.
Geez, okay, on 128 the vehicle was purchased. So,
yes.
Within 3 days, did they bring it back and say, hey, I can't get an emissions test?
So on the 30th, which is why I got confused, the actual car had issued an incomplete inspection report to it.
Okay.
Okay, which means
it didn't pass.
It cannot go through. Right. And the reason that it couldn't pass
check engine light.
There were sensors were detected that it was, okay, great. Now,
did they bring it back? Hold on, though. I got to understand this. Did they bring it back to Unlimited Motors and say, hey, it doesn't pass emissions?
Yes.
And what did they say to them?
They bring it back and say it can't pass emissions. Then Unlimited Motors, from my understanding, takes it to an emissions place, very far away. There's 5 air cares closer, which this is just red flags, okay, from the consumer perspective. 5 air cares closer.
I understand what you're saying, and it passed.
He took it to a different, to a far location, and...
I understand. I don't need the commentary right now. Did it pass?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
The check engine light was not on at that point.
Perfect. So when they gave it back, the check engine light wasn't on. I follow you. I'm not siding with anybody here. I follow you. Now, I assume the check engine light came back on.
Yes, it did.
And when did it come back on? Because now we're talking, they bought it on, what was it, the 28th, and then it passed on the 1st, correct?
No, it passed, let me see.
So they had it for a little bit of time?
Right.
Okay.
It was Saturday, which would be the 2nd.
So after it passed, how long did it take for the light to come back on?
Within the same day or the next, it's 20 to 25 miles.
Fair enough. Hey, fair enough. So they brought it back, and what happened then?
And they were refused. They were refused service. Nope, you actually tampered with it. You did something with it.
Well, okay, that's a big, hold on, that's a big thing. What do they mean by they tampered with it? What do you think they meant?
So, I feel like it's reverse psychology, to be quite honest. That's just my opinion. I think that that's
like calling a fat guy slim.
Right.
Yeah.
Or really looking at somebody else, and even though you're the one who did something to kind of
what do you think they were alluding they did? I don't understand. I don't understand what they would allude that they did to issue a check engine light. Are they saying they wanted to return the car at this point, so they messed with it?
Yes. Yeah, at this point, the customer realized, you know what, this is a check engine light, because as a matter of fact, he did get a repair estimate from the Honda dealership. From Mile High Honda, he got a repair estimate, and which is going to be almost what he ended up paying for the car.
Yeah, but I'm sure they went through... Hold on, they bought a used car. I'm sure they went through everything. Really, all I care about is this right now. This is what I think I can help you with. And honestly, okay, I'm going to ask the same questions we ask all the time. Did they have the car checked out before they bought it?
I do not know for sure.
It sounds like they didn't, or else they probably would have found all these issues the dealership did.
Right. Actually, you know what? I remember they said because the company, they wanted to trust the company, which as a company you should be trustable. So then because of that, they said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna believe this guy.
But Samantha, it is listen, listen, I'm on your side, but I need to tell you a few things. It's a used car. I assume when they went to Honda and Honda went through it, they said, hey, maybe this strut's leaking, or hey, maybe it needs a set of tires, or hey, it needs this sensor, or hey, it needs a cat converter, or hey, it needs this. It could need a lot of stuff. I understand that. But you didn't buy a brand new car, or whoever this is didn't buy a brand new car. They bought a used car. That used car, I assure you, was bought as is. They did get it to pass emissions, so from a legal stance, and I'm not an attorney, this is not legal advice, but from my understanding, that's it. Basically, they own the vehicle now. But I will say this, if the same issue came back that they attempted to fix the first time, the check engine light, if it is the same issue, I will fight for you, even though I don't think they have to do it. I'm hoping Unlimited Motors, who is listening, would do the right thing, should fix that. So what was that issue?
So, fair enough, but hear me out. So here's the problem. Here's the big issue. I actually got on the phone with the emissions tech center.
Yes.
Okay, not a station, but the actual tech center. And they themselves even said, oh, yes, this is what they do. This is what dealerships do, which is disconnect whatever they need to disconnect, the sensors, to get that light to turn off, passing emissions test. Then they reconnect it, and then once that it's reconnected,
but Samantha,
gets it back,
the one problem,
25 minutes later,
Samantha,
the light comes back on.
The one problem with what you said is that the light was off when they picked it up the second time. Now, they might have reset it. I don't think they disconnected anything. They might have reset the check engine light, and then after it drove far enough. Okay, once again, what was that problem? Let's go back to this. What I want to know is what was the cause of the check engine light? Because that's what I can fight for. Do you know? Was it an O2 sensor? Was it the cat? Do you know what it was?
It says on the repair estimate, found cold start misfire. Recommend replace with used engine. He's not even asking to have it replaced.
Wait a minute.
Saying, you know what?
Whoa, wait a second.
Want to return the
Samantha,
car.
hold on. Honda or whoever the dealership was said it needs an engine?
Yes.
I want to see that write-up. What dealership did they bring it to?
Mile High Honda.
Mile High. Okay, here's what I'm going to say now. If they're really saying this needs an engine, I'm back on your side. I don't care if it was sold as is. If they sold you a vehicle that, how long are we talking now? Less than 2 weeks, that literally needs an engine or a used engine, I do have a problem. And Unlimited Motors, I'm not rushing to judgment here, but if you've got a dealership, saying the vehicle you just sold, that they already had an emissions test problem with, now needs an actual engine, there's something wrong here. I'm not saying what you did was, well, okay, I'll tell you what I think. If this caller is telling the truth, and I want to see that write-up from Mile High. In fact, I want to talk to the tech at Mile High. That's what I want to do. I will not pass judgment yet. But Unlimited Motors, I would like to know this, and I know you're listening. Dan, who was listening? Is it the owner, a sales rep?
I think her name is a lady there.
Okay. Well, lady there, I hope, and I mean this, I hope if this is all correct, Unlimited Motors is not the kind of company that would sell a car with a motor being needed instantly. I would really hope so. I've got faith in people. We'll be right back.
This report is sponsored by Rocket
Do you have faith in people countrywide?
That's crazy. Why didn't she just say it needed a... Why am I fucking talking about all this shit? Why didn't she come out and say, I bought it, it needs an engine?
Because at the time it didn't.
It's crazy.
So you didn't even get my little purpley. It says, do you trust people countrywide?
I didn't hear it.
Countrywide Mortgage.
Yeah.
Is the one that you were...
Oh, it is Country.
Countrywide, was it Aquin was another one that was really big too.
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
That's still not the one I was thinking about.
It's not Countrywide?
No.
Oh, because
I know Countrywide went.
Countrywide was huge, but they were more. I don't know if they had any bank
You
branches
guys
all
were
over the place. I think they just did mortgage.
Oh, wait. Mortgage.
We need a car
Hey,
check.
I'm shocked Rocket. Oh, they're on traffic.
Yeah, I know.
They need to take it somewhere else.
All right, Century RV. Why do I love them? Well, let me tell you this. I spent a lot of money with them. I shopped around for my RV. We bought a beautiful, beautiful coach. We shopped from New York to California, and I told you I shop price. I'm not kidding you. I also shop service, and I love this company. They got a great service department. But Century RV is who I ended up buying from right here in our backyard. These guys are absolutely wonderful. If you want a new RV, a used RV, 303-453-1111, 303-453-1111.
Well, looks like Joe Flacco is going to be the quarterback of the future for the Broncos.
So, okay, I just...
That's not horrible. I'm sorry, that's not horrible.
I
don't think it's great.
I didn't say it was great. It's not horrible. Look at Manning. He had to get a bump over to somewhere.
That's like getting Eli Manning on here. I'd feel the same way as Flacco is getting Eli Manning, wouldn't you?
Okay, he's with his wife.
I'm just tell him I'm going to do that in content.
Okay, I'll tell him.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
Because remember, after Flacco won the MVP, the next year he sucked.
But Case was going to be.
Dan, you want to reach back out to that woman and see if this is true?
Yeah.
What they're willing to do?
I'll ask Samantha what the... Okay, let me switch over here until you come on. Okay, I'll switch over and we'll call.
My chiropractor is Dr. Mike Hederscheit. He believes pain short and pinched nerves can cause the actual misalignment, and the misalignment can...
You know when I start slouching a little? You know why?
You're tired.
No, I got to pee. I notice that with myself. I'm really good at keeping my posture until I
you have to
pee.
pee.
Yep, it's horrible.
Do you want an empty bottle?
It almost like...
Hand
me that bottle!
No, let's not encourage them.
How about the woman, the astronaut, that drove across country with diapers to kill her ex-husband because she didn't want to stop to pee? Remember that?
Yeah.
An astronaut!
Yeah. She learned that.
Shit happens.
From being on that.
Get it? Get it? Pun? Double entendre?
Entendre?
Snowy?
Oh.
Icy? Tom hates when I do that to him. I'll go, I got a specific reason. And then I'll say, I can't stand your diction anymore. Your diction's horrible today, Tom. The word's not diction, Mark. You specifically told me it was diction.
He's just like the teacher on Seinfeld that mispronounced George's name, huh?
Stand.
She did my wife and I.
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty good. My wife and I.
My mom ingrained that into me in my first probably 3 years of life. Are me and Dad going to... Dad and I.
Yeah.
Hey, it stuck with me.
Did?
Yeah.
I still want to strangle her, but it stuck.
No, that's against the law.
Yeah. Can't strangle your mother.
Yeah.
You don't mean that.
No.
No.
Of course not. It's like saying every engineer is smart.
It is. Actually, there's a couple people that said that there were job openings for an engineer.
Go call those people.
people now? Or
Within weeks.
No, I want you to call
was
the dealer.
amazed that I could start having real-life conversations right away. It was so fast. Now I'm speaking Spanish. Woohoo!
No wonder Babbel is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Try it for yourself and see why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language, like Spanish, French, or more. You can try Babbel for free. Go to Babbel.com or download the app and try it for free. That's Babbel, BABBEL.com, or download the app to try it for free. That's Babbel.com.
He's really into politics.
I happen to think politics is the most important.
Keeping it honest.
A little bit of corruption there.
And pointing out its flaws.
Here's the email. Look, you liar.
Sean Hannity. Today at 1 on 630 KHOW.
All right, 303-713-8255. 303 Martino. Remember that number. Seriously, works on and off the air. Deputy Dan, by the way, let me go to Samantha real quick. Samantha, we've got all your information. Deputy Dan's calling back up there. I need to get that report over here ASAP, and I need to talk to the people at Mile High. So give Suzanne whatever she needs so we can free the lineup, but we're on it, okay?
Yes. Let me,
oh, God.
I'm still trying to get it and send it to you guys.
Yeah, I need that. I mean, I got to have something. If it truly needs an engine and it wasn't messed with, I do agree with you. Now, when I say I agree with you, your friend did every single thing possibly wrong. They didn't have it checked out. I don't even want to get into it because we'll get into it, I'm sure, tomorrow, because everybody makes this mistake. But anybody listening, if you buy a used car, my God, get it checked out. I can't put it any other way. And if you don't, at this point, I'm going to say it, you're an idiot. You're an idiot if you know to get it checked out. Here's the other one we hear, okay? Well, they wouldn't let me check it out. Well, then don't buy it. I mean, it gets that simple. Samantha, hold on. Regardless, I personally think it is immoral for any company, any car company, to sell a vehicle that needs an engine within a few days. Honestly, I think it's immoral. And you know what? That might be a judgment call, but I am happy to tell people that. Hopefully, Deputy Dan has some good news when he comes back. He's reaching out to these guys. 303-713-8255. Donna has a home loan modification going wrong, but we do have a challenge out there for listeners right now. Brent Ivinson with Ideal Home Loans is in studio with me. And if you're in a mortgage right now, you've been in it for a little bit or a short time or a long time, you might want to convert to a 15, you might have credit card debt. They want to look at your circumstance and see if they can save you money. Period, end of story. They might be able to change your cash flow situation so your payment's less. Your payment might go up, but they can pay your house off 15 years earlier. There's numerous things that can be done. But if you have high interest rate on credit cards, I'll tell you right now, that's a big one. Or even a car that you're paying 25% on or something ridiculous. So high interest loans you can get handled. The other thing is if you do have better cash flow, and a lot of people do right now, I promise, going from a 30 to a 15 is unbelievable. They can tell you right on the phone, here's how much you'll save. And you'll die. You'll die. If it's a $500,000 house, I bet you save $200,000.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a ton of money.
It's massive. And that's all interest. There is no, it's all interest. There's nothing good about it.
No.
Unless you're on this side of it. I like the interest. I don't like paying interest, but taking interest is great.
There you go.
So listen, call them up. Ideal Home Loans for your ideal home loan. 303-867-7000. Put them to the challenge. He'll spend time talking to you. 303-867-7000. Brent and the gang have been with us. Man, how long have you been with us? Forever. Honestly, how long? I don't have a clue.
I want to say 10 years, maybe?
At least.
If not more.
Yeah, Tom's endorsed Brent's company for at least 10 years. All right, let's see what we got here. We can free up line 1, too. Do you have something, Suzanne?
No, I was just going to tell you to go to line 4 or 3.
Okay, I'll do it. Donna, what's going on? Donna.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly, Donna. How are you?
Well, I'm well except for this situation I'm in. Thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Sure, what happened? Kind of give us the quick version.
Quick version, I was going through a divorce, fell behind on payments. My mortgage company offered me a loan modification, which I accepted. Kept up on the payments for the trial period. They sent out my loan mod docs, And in the documents, there was a line item listed for new money for just over $12,000.
What do you mean? Well, hold on a second. What do you mean new money? What does that mean? It wasn't cash out.
Said. No. It just listed in the documents as part of what I was going to have to repay.
So your loan, so your loan was going to go up by $12,000.
And I wanted a breakdown of what is this new money. You know, I'll sign these documents, but I'm not going to sign something saying I'm paying an additional $12,000.
Well, okay, Donna, let me ask
I don't know what it is.
Let me ask some basic questions. What was your payment prior to anything?
Prior to the modification, it was $1,745 and some change.
$1,745 a month. How many months were you past due? How much did you owe?
Let me look.
Just a guess.
Said $5,300.
Okay, $5,300. What was your payment going to go to under the modification?
$1,545 and some change.
So basically $200 less, or $300. No, $200 less. For how long?
40 years.
Well, I mean, it's easy to see where the money came from. I mean, honestly, the $12,000, I mean, Brent, I mean, that's where it came from. They're deducting it from her payment and adding it onto the back end. They're extending her mortgage. The worst scenario, though, is, it's not worst scenario, the reality of it is, you're going to end up paying so much more for that house, it's crazy, with the interest upon that, too.
Well, sure, but going through a divorce, I didn't have...
I understand.
Time making the payments, so I didn't have that balance.
No, I get you. So, but what's your question now? If they wouldn't break down the $12,000, it's not brain surgery. It's easy to see where it's at. You were behind $5,300. You probably had a current payment of $1,745, and they're knocking $200 off for X amount of time. That's added onto the back end. I mean, that's where it came from.
That's actually not where it came from. I didn't get a breakdown until January 31st.
Then what was the breakdown?
The breakdown was the past due payments.
Okay, so $5,000 whatever.
Escrow, that was because they didn't calculate my escrow correctly.
Okay.
The insurance and the taxes went up.
Go ahead, say that.
Escrow short, so you were escrow short?
Correct.
Yeah, because your payments weren't being made, so your escrow is going to be off.
And if taxes
or
insurance
they hadn't calculated for an insurance increase the year before.
Okay.
So they were tacking on the insurance and the taxes from 17.
Okay, Donna, so they broke down the $12,000.
But they didn't break it down until January. And they wanted the documents back in September. And I called them and emailed them.
So now you don't have, this does sound horrible, now you don't have the modification because you didn't sign on time.
Well, that's what they said.
Okay.
Finally, they gave me the breakdown and said, I'm so sorry, we'll go ahead and give you the modification, but now I'm listed on the foreclosure list. I have attorneys and realtors showing up at my door wanting to buy my home, but I fulfilled the obligations minus the breakdown that they refused to provide.
But, Donna, hold on here. I need to understand this. Can you still get the modification and call off the dogs or not?
Well, I can, and I've, again, fulfilled everything, but it's still showing up as foreclosure, and for 4 months, 4 months, they were returning my payments, which they said it was just a code that they forgot to remove.
Okay, but now, do you feel as if it's going to go away? I understand it sucks, but do you feel as if you're back on track, the payments are being made, they're accepting the payments? Who's the loan? Who's it through?
Mr. Cooper Mortgage. They sold it to Mr. Cooper.
I don't know who that is.
Which just in itself sounds hokey.
Brent, what would you do in her...
Well, it sounds like, again, if you've signed the modification, you're making the payments.
First of all,
likely is just you're caught in the middle ground here with the foreclosure piece of it, and that'll get rectified shortly.
It takes time.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. But Mr. Cooper is a large servicer out there, so they started out and bought up a lot of servicing, and so they are a larger company in terms of scale. I know the name sounds a little crazy. We kind of chuckled too when we heard Mr. Cooper.
Donna, who did you have the loan with when you were doing the modification? Was it Mr. Cooper?
It was Mr. Cooper.
Okay, I understand. I thought you were saying they sold. When you said they sold it, you meant from the original.
Correct.
I mean, it sounds like everything's going to work itself out. It's just going to take a little time. Now, if it doesn't work itself out and they've been cashing the checks and you've done exactly what's in the agreement, there's nothing they can do. You'll end up in front of a judge and you'll have the proof.
Sure, but it's affecting my credit.
Well, it would have. The modification within itself kills your credrit. Let me
have an impact on your
the stuff foreclosure.
Yeah, well, no, but the foreclosure will be off there because the modification's done. Then that will change your credit, but the modification is really bad on. It's really bad on your credit. I mean, Brent, how bad is it?
Yeah, no, it is, and that's one of the things they don't explain is that it does have an impact on your credit.
It big time. Now foreclosure has a worse impact. So you're actually lucky that's going to be falling off. That won't be there now. Unfortunately, it might list that you were in foreclosure.
And see, that's my problem. I shouldn't have gone into foreclosure.
Well, then what I would do is I would reach, Donna, then what I would do is reach out to each of the credit bureaus and dispute it. You can do them all online. And then they're going to reach out to Mr. Cooper, and most likely, and you're not going to like this, Mr. Cooper's going to say, yes, she was in foreclosure. She no longer is, but yes, in this month, at this date, at these times, she was. So most likely it's not going to be removed. But, man, try to get it removed. Why not?
Okay.
So I mean, really, that's about it. I have to take a break. Do you have another question?
One quick one.
Go. Quick.
If I have the money now, is it better to just send them the money and pull back on the mod so it doesn't hit my credit?
I don't think you can. It sounds like you created a new deal. I mean, Brent, quick.
It's
like a new loan.
Yeah. I'm not sure you can unwind it at this point.
No, you can't unwind it.
If you try and unwind it, then I think you're going to be caught in that middle ground with the foreclosure piece. But then you could cure the foreclosure. Oof.
I don't know. I mean, Donna, my gut says no. You're in a new loan now. I mean, they're going to have to remodify it. That would be something you would call up and you would negotiate with them. Hey, if we forget about this and we don't do this and I pay all this right now, can we just go back to the way it was? My guess is they're going to say no. But I mean, that's what it is. If you can negotiate it, great.
This is Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
We had one on, was it yesterday, where she said she hadn't paid since like 3 or 4 years ago. Remember the lady on yesterday was that she hadn't paid for
8 years.
And she was surprised that the loan hasn't been going down. It was on a rental.
How did she stay in there? She
won
the Rule 120.
Yeah.
And they just kind of quit messing with her for a while.
Yeah.
But she thought because she won the Rule 120 that she didn't owe the money. That just meant they couldn't foreclose at that moment.
Right.
Wow, that's a long time.
That is a long time.
Kind of swept under the rug.
And it wasn't her.
If that was one of my employees and that was my money, I'd be livid with them.
Oh, yeah.
How do you let someone go 8 years?
I don't think she had it all right.
I don't think she was all right.
I agree.
Typical engineer.
I got an update on that Samantha from Women in Work.
What is it?
It's a great update. I'm teasing you.
You're learning. You're learning.
No, I talked to Vicky is who I talked to there, and she says, hey, I'm not the owner, I can't come on, and stuff. I said, well, you better talk to the owner because you sound very knowledgeable on this. But anyway, she told me what her side of the story is.
Okay, good. So we'll leave the tease.
We'll leave the tease in place.
Blackout thing is 28.5.
No way. For
5 year?
For how many
years? Elway's going to be gone. If this doesn't work out, he's gone.
You already should.
I'm agreeing with you, too.
agree with that.
Who is it?
28.
Well, hold on. No. That might be Case and Bolt.
Yeah,
I think they're negotiating.
Keenum was $16 million, wasn't
Are
it?
they keeping him on as a backup?
The Broncos are inheriting 3 years and $63 million.
Whoa. Oh, you're kidding me.
I like Flacco.
You're kidding me. Holy cow. You never know which Flacco's going to show up.
He covered the spread most of the time. He did. I'm not kidding. He usually covered. He did. Manning did a lot, too.
You know who I'm angry
Hold on, guys. 60?
I'm mad to get rid of it.
All right, listen, the Raleigh House, if you have family and friends that have addiction issues, or maybe you just think they have addiction issues and you want to talk about it, this number is for you. Call up, learn how to talk to someone, a loved one in your life. that has a problem, doesn't matter if it's alcohol or drugs, call the Raleigh House. This number Tom and I came up with for people like you that have relatives, friends, family that have issues. Learn to discuss it with them. 720-963-9201. 720-963-9201.
So Flacco's going to be $18.5 million. They got to pay Case 10.
Is Case gone?
I don't know.
I thought his thing was $16 million a year.
Isn't it weird transition?
10 against the cap, is what it says.
You know what's really impressive about the Patriots? Seriously,
the coaching.
They get the shittiest picks each year. The shittiest fucking.
Well, it's all coaching. It's all coaching. The whole thing is coaching.
You got to have you got to have Brady.
Right. You got to pick.
But again, you had to coach Brady to that level.
Yeah, you did.
Brady was not that.
No, but Brady could go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
But
they'd have to go to the Belichick system.
Sure.
No, you know what? And there is no system. You saw that Super Bowl.
Right.
That is not the Patriots I ever saw before.
He changes. You're right.
Well, what it
he
is
can change at halftime.
No.
So I'm talking, guys. They say what Belichick's biggest thing is he doesn't care about your athletic ability. He wants to know how intelligent you are.
Oh, really?
Because if you have a entire roster full of intelligent people, you can make game changes like that on the fly, and they can hit it and go.
How about the midgets?
So then he.
This is a target. You throw him a helmet. You've seen the movie.
So he should be hiring all engineers then.
True.
Biochemical engineers. It won't be long where they're brewing these humans up in the womb, man. Super 6'5", smart as hell.
Yeah.
They're going to copy me. They're going to clone these two.
Oh, man.
Sense of humor. Good looking. Witty as hell.
Super intelligent.
Has the teasability.
Teasing.
Right.
Wouldn't it be weird running into yourself? You didn't know they cloned you. You're like, son of a bitch. I didn't even get paid. Yeah. But then you find out you're a clone.
Yeah.
An older version of you walks up and goes, son of a bitch.
They just took the saliva from your pop can. They cloned that.
Oh, man.
How would that work, too, with, like, DNA and crime scene? If there's multiple people with the same DNA, would you put a little extra marker in there so you could tell them?
But that'd be a pure clone. I mean, they don't do that.
Like a twin.
That'd be crazy.
Keenum has $7 million of his $18 million guaranteed, in addition to $3 million prorated signing bonus. Keenum will have no trade value at that $18 million figure and will likely be released by the Broncos unless he takes a huge pay cut.
See, I'm mad they released Kelly.
Why?
I thought Kelly was going to be a fairly good.
But you can't get all jacked up and then wander into someone's house.
It happens. Brent, it happens.
You know?
He didn't hit anybody. He didn't yell at him.
No, he got hit with did he get hit with a vacuum hose by the homeowner?
How no one died is amazing.
I think you're right. I think they were hitting them with.
They were whacking him with the.
Get out of here!
Get out of here! What are you doing?
This isn't the football field.
And he just took it. He took it like a man.
I know. He was going to be good. He was great. What they call him, swag, I think is what they call him.
All right, 303-713-8255, the only number you got to know. Dan, what is the update on Samantha?
Okay.
So hold on. Hold your horses, my friend.
I'm holding.
Samantha called in. She's got a friend that purchased a vehicle at Unlimited Motors in Denver. I think it's Denver. Yeah, on Broadway. And what we found out towards the end is apparently they brought this vehicle over to Mile High Honda, and Mile High Honda said, oh my goodness, there's misfires, it needs an entire engine. This thing's less than 2 weeks old. They had problems with it passing emissions right off the bat. You called over to Unlimited Motors to begin with. They were listening to the call, so they knew what we were talking about.
Yep.
What say they?
Okay, so I talked to Vicki over there, and she's not the owner, and she didn't have the permission to come on the radio, so that happens.
Of course.
So anyway, she said she knew this guy, and when he came over with that thing from Mile High saying his new motor was before she even went and got the check engine light looked at. So when they took it, they came over there with that Mile High.
They bought it on the 28th.
Right.
So
the check engine light said they come on.
Yep.
They brought it back over there. When they checked it over, they said the reason the check engine light was on was because there was some card in the EGR valve. I don't know what that would actually do, but that's why. And he already had this thing from Mile High saying that it needed a new engine.
So he bought it, then went and got it checked out.
Right.
Well, that's... Okay, well, who even cares? Does it need a new engine? Are they saying he did something?
Well, they said all they said was as far as the check engine light.
See, this what I don't even understand what this woman's trying to tell you, because at this point it's even worse to me. I thought it was 2 weeks before they knew it needed an engine. You're telling me almost the day after they bought this vehicle, another dealership, Mile High, told them it needed an engine.
Right.
Well, my God, that really sucks. They bought a vehicle that needed an engine right off the bat.
So anyway,
she just killed the argument. Well, it happened while they were driving it.
Wait. When they took the engine, the card out of there, they drove it for 30 miles. It didn't come back on. Then they took it over to a place to get it checked out for the emissions, and it passed. They took it back, and this engine light was still not on.
Here's what we need to know. Does it need an engine then?
Absolutely. We've got to have someone else look at it.
I'm assuming Unlimited Motors are saying it does not need an engine.
As far as they know, yes, it does not.
Okay. So, this should be simple. Where do they live? Who can we send it to? Samantha, how far away are you guys from, let's say, Aurora or Littleton? Where are you guys?
Not too far. I'm in Lone Tree right now.
No, the car.
And
no,
the customer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, whoever.
The customer is actually on the way to Mile High Honda right now. I've got in touch with him.
Well, I want him to go to one of our places. I want one of our guys to see if it needs an engine or not. I don't care what Mile High says at this point. I mean, I do. I want to see that information, but they won't charge anything. We can either do. Where's Mile High at?
Yeah, and let me say this. So I agree. I would rather the customer go to one of your places. I think that would be great. And there's no bias anywhere.
Yeah.
As far as Unlimited Motors and myself. I will add this. I know what the gentleman is talking about as far as the card. There was a part that was supposedly loosened. My thing is this. If that's the accusation, and I say that lightly.
We just got to ask our guys. I mean, I don't think anybody would be smart enough to loosen a part in an EGR. I mean, it just doesn't even make sense.
And all due respect to this customer, but I don't think this customer would even know to do that. But here's the thing. Worst case scenario, even if he did do that, you would think common sense would say if the part is tightened.
Samantha, I'm with you, but let me tell you about worst case scenario. He bought a vehicle and didn't get it checked out. Worst case scenario, he bought it as is. We're either going to have to prove fraud, meaning they knowingly sold him a vehicle with a bad engine, or we've got to work with them and hopefully they do the right thing. So let's see if they do the right thing. This could be a good company. I realize you guys have gone head to head with them. Let us have the opportunity, but I've got to get this car over. Suzanne, you were saying?
Yeah, so I looked up the address on Mile High Honda. It looks like they're near Sheridan Auto Tech, so I think that's where we need to send them to.
How long are they going to be at Mile High, Samantha? Are they dropping it off? Are they waiting? What are they doing?
I don't know, because I would need to get back.
Sheridan Auto Tech is right over by there. I want those guys to look at it. Suzanne will give you all the information. Simple as that. Kevin's got a mortgage comment. Real quick, Kevin.
Hey, Mark. Hey, great show. Hey, you're talking about mortgages. I had 2 mortgages for like 27, 28 with the Colonial Savings. We never, ever, ever had a problem with them. They are awesome. If anybody's looking for a mortgage company, they were fantastic to work with.
Are they a servicer, or who are they, Brent? Do you have any idea? Just competition, or?
Nah,
don't know.
I've not heard of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
Colonial Savings down out of Texas there. Yeah, they were.
Cool.
We did, the old days. We had the coupon. We'd send a check in.
That is the old days.
Yeah, and then we did the direct deposit. We never, ever had a glitch with it. And then we paid our house off ahead, and they sent us the thing when it was all done showing. They were great to deal with.
Cool. All right, thanks, Kevin, for that, man.
Bye-bye.
303-713-8255, one line open. Man, oh man. Susan, hold tight. We'll talk small claims. Buying a new home advice ad, you're up too. We'll be right back.
This report is sponsored by...
And Vicki over there also said they encourage people to get the car checked out ahead of time.
There's a couple crashes downtown, one northbound I-25 and 8th Avenue, off to the right side of the road.
It's brewing.
What?
You're brewing.
What does that mean?
I can tell you've got a rolling boil going.
I will bet you it doesn't need a new engine. None.
Doesn't?
Does not.
Well, if he's driving it around, it's a hell of a good sign.
Yeah.
They might say, hey, it's not worth doing all this. I just put a used engine in it, but if it's driving, it's driving.
To provide a seamless mortgage experience, visit rocketmortgage.com today. Licensed in all 50 states, equal housing lender, NMLS number 3030.
How many times a day do I say this? Frank Duran, the real estate man, he's one of my favorite people. Frank saved me so much money on the house we bought, and he made me so much money on the house we sold, I can't even tell you. The man is a saint. He is a great negotiator, and if you're in the Denver metro area and you are buying or selling a house, I will say this, and I mean it, you're crazy not to use anybody else. You're absolutely crazy to use anybody else. I include relatives in that. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Taking care of business.
To me, I never could have thought that they would go for Flacco.
Why?
I mean, I would go with
what do you guys have against Joe?
It's the same as going with Eli Manning.
Yeah, but he's coming into a new coach. He's coming into a new team. He could do great.
The coach loves him.
Oh, our new coach.
How old is he?
Really was a big fan of his, apparently.
Is he 30 yet? How old is he?
37.
Yeah, this guy's got everything going.
34.
Who else would you rather have had that's in reason? Who? That even was feasible on any level?
I don't know all who everybody.
We don't want a fucking newbie. We've attempted that shit.
Newbie for
that doesn't work.
Or quarterback. Which newbie for quarterback do we?
Who's the guy you want to keep?
We got Osweiler. We Paxton.
He's not a newbie. He's not a newbie.
No, but we got him brand new though.
You guys are looking at this guy like Jake the Snake. You're looking at him like you did Plummer.
I like Plummer.
Most people hated Plummer.
I love Plummer.
Actually, he didn't have the team around him. I don't.
He crashed and burned quick.
No, but I think, like I say, and this year the team was definitely better than last year. But I'm surprised Keenum didn't do better because he did good with the Vikings, and the Vikings did not do good this year. He is a little low, but so is Drew Brees.
They won't touch you. Get relief, Larson tax relief, and put your tax problem.
Seen that thing on ESPN that Drew Brees, they show him throwing a football and he has the accuracy of someone shooting a bow and arrow at a target.
Really?
Yeah, it's just as accurate. Pretty impressive.
He's an amazing person. Like, what is he, 6 feet or 6.5, 6 feet and a half inch or whatever? And he's been around bad teams. You know, in New Orleans now they're good and stuff.
That's great. Yeah, no, he's a great quarterback. He's awesome. They should have been in the Super Bowl.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. That'll go down forever. Yeah. It's the worst call ever.
Hey guys, it's Ross Kaminsky, and whether it's your first home, your next home, your vacation home, your investment property.
La 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 la.
I don't know what quarterback is out there that they could have.
So it's easy to customize a program that fits.
There's not much. That's the problem.
Options that require no money down.
Eli, Flacco.
With American financing, there's no commission involved, so your financial goals.
Look at it, boy. Both Eli and Flacco got MVPs in Super Bowl. I can't see either one. But we did play a good Super Bowl.
Nick Foles, Tannehill, Tyrod Taylor, Blake.
I grew up with a guy, Nick Foles.
Nick Foles might have been not bad.
There's just not me. But yeah, so like, look, here's the other question. Look at what Kansas City did with Mahomes. How did Elway not see Mahomes? How did he not realize?
Whoa! Yeah, but you mean drafting him?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's incredible.
I agree.
He's awesome.
I agree. I don't know what.
Incredible.
Oh,
if Belichick had him.
Oh.
Well, Reed.
If he worked under Reed's
doing a good job with him.
Reed's doing a great job with him. Mahomes is awesome.
Oh God.
Look who's the running back out of CU.
How come we didn't see him?
That guy's in our backyard.
There you go. Exactly. Great question.
We don't have him up on the radar for Granted, he didn't get into the draft, but you didn't have him up on the radar. Like, he called and asked if he could come to camp, supposedly.
That's a great.
Like, dude,
Grant playing games in there. Although the Monkees did outsell the Beatles in '67, that is a fact. You can look it up, and the Rolling Stones. It's amazing. 303-713-8255. All right, Susan has taken... Yes.
December 28th.
Yes.
And I've gotten every single excuse in the book, and I've yet to get my microwave. So
where'd you buy it from?
It's this place in Pueblo. It's called Maytag Direct.
And so you paid for it, and they haven't shipped it? Can you go pick it up? Are they saying it's back ordered? Will they give you a refund?
Well, none of the above.
Well, okay, then that sucks. They should give you a refund, and you should buy it somewhere else. So let's call up and try to get you a refund. Are they still in business?
Yes, but they won't answer the phone.
Well, okay, we'll call.
Out there and the doors are locked. And so my question
maybe they're not in business.
No, they are.
Okay.
They definitely are.
Go ahead.
Anyway, my question to you is, I want to take him to small claims court because, like, today's the day I'm done.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So take him. Fine.
What I wanted to know was his wife. Can I put her on that as well, or?
You can put whoever you want. What I would do is the company name and the owner.
Okay, so that's what I'll do. And I just wondered if I do put her name on it and she doesn't have anything to do with the business, will the court kick it out? Or?
Well, the court won't kick it out. They could show up, and I'm not an attorney, nor is this legal advice, but my guess, based on experience that I've had, is if they show up and say, hey, this has nothing to do with her, she did not sell it, then yes, the judge could take her off of it, but they would have to initiate it. If neither of them showed up, for example, and you got a default judgment, which could happen, it would be against both of them.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay. It makes perfect sense.
I still say you give us our number and we'll try to get you a refund. How much are we talking about?
Almost $1,300.
What the hell kind of microwave is this?
It's a Sharp drawer microwave that I just remodeled my kitchen and put in new cabinets.
So it's fancy of some sort. Is it a convection oven?
No, it's just a microwave, but rather than load it from the front, it loads from the top. And
okay, but, I mean, that's how much they cost, right? It's not crazy.
No, that's where it costs.
Hold on.
Everywhere.
Suzanne, get her number. I mean, I'll call over. This is crazy. I mean, if it's been that long, they need the refund or she can go find it somewhere else. How come we have never had a call that goes like this? Hi, I'm in Pueblo, and I love things in Pueblo. It has never happened in my entire life. Everything is either the cops suck, the businesses suck, this is happening, the woman next door is crazy, she's yelling Nazi at me, the cops won't do anything after this woman ran over me, this business over here took my money and left, the mayor is under investigation. We hear everything about Pueblo. I have yet to hear anything good about Pueblo. Someone told me the weed down there is good. Maybe the weed down there is good. I don't know. Ed, what's going on?
Hey, Tom.
Hello.
Hey, so we're buying a house. It's a production builder, a little bit, they're probably on the higher end.
Sure.
We've had a litany of problems. We sold our house. We did everything they asked for. They've done a good job about fixing the things that we've asked them to.
So hold on, it's a new custom house, or is it more of a track home with customizations?
It's more of a track home with customizations.
Okay, so are they still building it? Is it done? Did you move in?
No, we're 30 days from moving.
Okay.
We're itching to get in there, but we're stuck on the master bath. We spent some money on options. It's limestone and did the entire bathroom in that way.
So it's not like that yet?
It's done, but it's nothing like that we expected.
I wouldn't close. You're going to hate what I'm saying, Ed. I swear, I don't care what home builder it is. Deputy Dan, how many times do we have home builders like KB? That's one I can think right off the bat. They promise, let's get this thing's closed. We'll take care of it under warranty. And then a year later, they're still dealing with the same problem. Yep. There is a reason for a punch card in a walkthrough. If you're being reasonable, they need to finish the stuff, Ed. I mean, that is the best advice I can give you.
My question to you real quick would be that they have a stone variation disclosure that we put on there.
Okay.
And we understand that there's going to be some variation, but it really doesn't look anything like they have that same stone.
That's going to be how the agreement is interpreted if you actually got to a courtroom or something. Once again, I'm not an attorney. It's not legal advice. I'm not reading it. Is it industry standard? If other people that put stone in that bathroom or in that kitchen or whatever we're talking about, if other people that did it read that contract and they did it for a living, they would say, yes, this would be acceptable in this. That's what you're up against. I don't know the answer to that. But I'll tell you this, you're holding the cards right now. I mean, I guess they could, Stephanie Thomas, I mean, depending on the contractor in, they might be able to enforce contract. You better close.
Yeah, they could keep their earnest money. It just depends on their contract.
So it's going to come down to whether that variance in that countertop is industry standard or acceptable, and if you want to move in. I mean, really, Ed, that's it. There is no cut or dry answer to this.
Yeah.
So that's it, man. If you got more questions, I'll get you back up tomorrow, but we're out of time. Stephanie Thomas, the absolute best realtor in the Colorado Springs area. I would use her beyond anybody else down there, period, end of story. Stephanie is on the referralist.com. Ideal Loans. If I need a loan, I call Ideal first. Ready for their number, 303-867-7000. We've got a lot going on. Tom will be back in town tomorrow, and we're going to pick up right where we left off, solving problems, answering questions, taking your complaints. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. If it's the same product and there's a variance in the tone, the builder can say you're in contract and it's
Oh, it's probably even worse than that. It probably says literally you'll accept any variance.
Well, and if the buyer defaults though, then the buyer, then the builder has done nothing wrong.
Yeah, they kept the earnest money and they'll make more money on the house.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, he's got to be really careful. I thought.